What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the Nightcap, presented by the Iowa Distilling Company here on the Cyclone Fanatic After Dark Network. Yo. I'm Matthias Schwarzkopf. With me is Levi Stevenson. Dylan is off this evening, dealing with some things, so we'll roll without him. Should be back next week, and we'll be basically 1 week out away from game week.
We are 2 shows away from actually previewing a game. It's great.
Yeah. Next week we're gonna do our season predictions. I'm gonna bring back the old wide right natty light style of season previews, and each one of us are gonna make a prediction based on those criterias.
All right.
So that'll be by the time we get through that, I'm sure that's going to be a lengthy, with 3 people picking each topic, it's going to be pretty lengthy. So,
yeah,
but it'll be nice to do it. And and then the week after that, we'll preview SEMO, which we will try our best.
Yeah. It feels like we've just collectively, it feels like we've talked as much in this preseason about this team as any other team, as any team in the Matt Campbell era. I think even going back to the 2021 season when it was all about can this team make a playoff run? Can do this, and this, or whatever. We were talking about it, but to a certain extent, there was a lot of knowns on that team. We knew basically the entire starting 22. We knew kind of what the vibe was going to be. We knew it was going to happen. Whereas this team, that there's enough unknowns where we've probably put more thought into the different kind of branches of how this thing could go and what it could look like and all that. But for that reason, it's we've talked about this team so much that
we need real football to happen.
I need actual football to talk about, because I've previewed the hell out of this team 10 times over at this point.
There's only so much speculative talk about all these players that we haven't seen in an Iowa State uniform yet,
right? And
what could happen, what could not happen, and yeah, it's time for real football. What?
I accidentally my beer can rubbed against the windscreen, kind of weird, and went It's kind of weird. Anyways,
well, we're gonna talk a little bit of football media days here. Nothing really earth shattering from there, but I got some Jimmy Rogers stuff. We'll go over here, and then the unfortunate news of the day: Kylian Toure is injured and down for the count for now. The severity of the said injury is to be known yet. I think that's one of those things where it sounds like surgery. We won't know until surgery, I suppose. So
we won't even know if there is surgery.
Also that. So
he may have torrated his shoulder.
Nice.
I actually don't have that sound effect. I don't know why.
That's what I was waiting for. I was like,
no, I don't got that. I don't think I'm gonna find it. It's this one. Nope. Train. Right. Anyways.
We are definitely not going to look at Royce White's latest tweet.
No, super not doing that. Show me almost any other tweet.
Yep. Yeah. So real bad. Well, actually, there's 2 double doses of bad news today. We had the Kylian Toure stuff.
There's 4 bad doses of bad news.
2 bad doses. 2
bad.
Did doses? I say 4?
You said 2 double doses.
Oh. Well, depending on how you take said.
That's a quadruple dose of bad news.
Yeah.
And then you said we're taking 2 we're taking 2 big deuces.
2 deuces.
2 deuces.
This is 2 deuces worth of news today. Yeah, Kylian Toure injury, and then Jaden Higgins also tore his ACL yesterday in practice, mixed practice with the Raiders, which is very unfortunate, especially for those who do NFL fantasy and have already drafted Jaden Higgins because he was due for a big breakout year this year.
Do you think because I kind of wonder what his breakout was going to look like though, because Tank Dell's back. So
also that, but I think they like him enough down there that like and
they
CJ
made sure to feed
Stroud.
him.
Yeah, CJ Stroud's got a pretty good connection with him, it feels like. So
Yeah.
super unfortunate for him. And obviously, like you said, Tank Dell's back, but then, does Jalen Noel get more touches this year?
Jalen and Xavier.
Yep. So still two more Iowa State wide receivers. Obviously, David Montgomery's down there as well.
Yep.
So plenty of Iowa State mouths to feed there and watch if you're, watching the Texans this year, but that sucks.
Yeah.
So,
It's like after coming off that last football season where everybody and their grandma tore something, like it sucks. Because then now you got Jaden Higgins going down the same day as Kylian Toure. Brees goes down last week, though they say his isn't serious, so hopefully it's not. But
isn't his just a groin?
But get him out of MetLife. Holy cow. Insane. I don't know how his agent hasn't forced a trade at this point.
Well, he just signed a pretty big deal there.
Yeah, that sucks. He shouldn't have done that.
Well,
I feel like that's bad agenting. I feel like that's just I feel like that's bad advice on his agent's part. He's a running back. He's a running back that relies on being able to cut and move and all that stuff like that. And he's playing in a stadium that eats ACLs for breakfast, ACLs and Achilles and everything. Like,
and then some.
It's like, what are we? I don't know. That seems stupid. That seems bad for his career.
The thing is,
yes, I was watching two guys and shit talking Hassel for about an hour.
Why did they go back from the World Cup grass back to the turf?
It's stupid. That's what it's funny because like all the NFL players are like, why can't we just leave the turf here? Like, why can't we just leave the real grass? It's insane to me that the MetLife spent all that money, or that somebody spent all that money getting natural grass, and MetLife's just like, screw it, we're going back to the artificial turf that
stuff
blows up our players. Like get Brees and get Will McDonald out of there too. Get both of them out of there.
Yeah, and then the funny thing was, like, the Patriots went back to their artificial turf, and then they were found non-compliant after they did so they had to rip it all up and bring in brand new artificial turf.
Just bring in natural grass. Like, what are we doing?
At this point, like, we've already removed the field 3 times now.
I would bet that in the next labor agreement, I would bet that the players push for natural grass. I would be shocked if they didn't.
Well, I mean, like, the Bills just built their new stadium. It's natural gas. Like, why is nobody else doing this?
Jake says, stop your debauchery. Hey, Jake, graduate the intern program.
Yeah. Hey, Jake, shut up.
Yeah, shut up, Jake.
Yeah, shut up, Jake.
Yeah, Jake.
If you're gonna talk shit, if you're gonna talk shit, why don't you get in here and talk shit, huh?
That's true. Yeah. Talk. If you want to talk shit, get in here and talk your shit.
Yeah. Otherwise, shut up.
Honestly, but we have like the technology to grow grass indoors. Like, even if you have a dome, you can grow grass. Like, it's not.
I mean, they make the lights for this shit for a reason. I mean, like, they had a sprinkling system inside of Dallas Cowboys Stadium.
I will send Jake the fucking link.
Brother doesn't know how to log in the StreamYard.
He's logged into Cyclone Fanatic StreamYard.
Well, maybe he should stop.
Not the better StreamYard.
Not sophisticated and shit like that.
Yeah.
Stupid Jake.
Jake. Just constantly a burden, really, more than anything.
He was boots on the ground at Media Day, so I guess we're going to talk some Media Day stuff here. So
that's true. If there's anybody that's worth bringing on here for this.
I mean, he is worth something to us, at least a little bit. He finally did his job today, so
we can at least use him as our mobile video cameraman.
Yep. So anyways, while we're getting Jake in here, we're gonna turn this over to Jimmy Rogers to talk about what he's looking forward to. What? Jake's still catfish. Oh. Yeah, you got to really update that. Yeah, we're going to turn this over to Jimmy Rogers really quick about the end of camp finish here, and then we got him talking about the culture, which we'll go into this a little bit later too. But here's Jimmy Rogers on the end of camp.
I think, one thing that is unique is making sure we're all on the same page as coaches when you're talking about clock and possessions inside of a game and trying to be strategic. The games that will be extremely competitive, which many of them will be for us, we have to win the margins. And so we have to be on the same
There it is.
wavelength as coaches. For me, that is timing inside of the game. That's the second quarter, the middle 8. That's going into the fourth quarter and making sure that we're on the same page of how timeouts are utilized, and at times what you're giving up for the other side of the ball as well, so that you're playing situational football. And we did first half last week, and we're finishing up more of the second half this week. And I think we've taken a ton of growth. You're also managing a lot of players that are coming together for the first time. It helps to have Jalen, who's been with Coach Heckendorf and has been taught a lot of these high-level things throughout his career, because a lot of these things come second nature to him, or second nature to him, which he controls the offense. So for us, it's been huge. As far as positionally, there's a couple key position battles still going on. The rotation at wide receiver. Some of the rotations at the interior part of our O-line. A lot of the positions elsewhere are kind of taking place, but there's a lot of guys that are going to play just through sub-packaging and different roles. And so I am not happy or satisfied, but more so to be able to see the growth throughout a team and individual skill sets, and then how we can utilize them throughout the course of a year. I've been happy with that.
The interior offensive line still being a battle, either good or bad. In our case this year, I would say that's good.
I mean, if it wasn't a battle, I would almost be a little concerned, because be like, well, we found like 5 guys that are clearly better than everybody else. So I guess it just is what it is. That would worry me, I guess, a little bit. Oh, fuck.
Oh, God. What up, bald bro?
Fuck. Why do I always get stuck between the bald people?
Well, I got to defend
literally
myself
happened
here
twice.
a little bit. Do you know how many times I've thought to change my YouTube profile picture?
Oh, here we go.
Never. Do you know how many
Never.
times I've hit on women with my YouTube account?
Are you showing people
Actually,
this very clear picture of you
time.
going to prom? To women?
I was like 19. I was like 19 years old.
It's
I don't-
child Jake.
Yeah, they call that
didn't even-
catfishing. There's a whole thing about Manti Te'o
I
with
didn't
that.
even know I had a YouTube profile picture, if I'm being completely honest.
Well,
Austin said he didn't mean it, which
can't
probably
take it back.
clearly means he meant it.
yeah. Jake, we were talking about the interior offensive line rotations, as he alluded to. Is the fact that they haven't figured out a 5, or like if they haven't figured out a 3 on the interior, does that worry you at all, or is it more like, in my mind, it's like if they had settled on a 3 already, it'd be like, well, clearly everybody after those 3 is terrible.
It's dog shit.
I think I'd side with your first point, as in like, I think it's good, or I guess your second point, kind of that it's good that there's not a clear rotation yet. I'm guessing they've got an idea, and I'm guessing like, okay, it's these 2 guys at left guard, but if he beats out him, then this guy will have a shot at right guard. I'm not too worried about it, but I'm also probably like, if I'm going to talk about a position group, I think O-line is the most difficult for me. Like I kind of just evaluate it as, I see push. I don't see push.
Yeah. Have they said anything of like kind of like who might be the opposite tackle, Jake Taylor? Like who's the front runner there?
They've not.
Okay.
I mean, they've brought up Masai King before.
Yeah.
King.
I mean, Masai King is who Matthias and I have been on since the beginning.
Yeah, and I do wonder if he was dinged up or something in the spring, because we just didn't hear about him.
Jackson wasn't very high on him in the 2 deeps he's got going. I'm just saying.
Well, I actually asked Jackson about that, and I was like, well, how come we didn't have Masai King on your 2 deep? He's like, well, I haven't heard much about him. I was like, I get it, I guess, but I don't know. I mean, Amick is probably interior, right?
That's kind of I think he's gonna be right side, but
How big is he? I'll look it up.
Big enough to.
he would be a name that like I would buy stock in him based off
Yeah, it
of
seems
what I've
like
heard.
we heard a lot.
Based off of what I've heard, even back to the spring, like I don't know, he he might start on that right side.
6'6", 305. 6'6" is a touch on the tall side for a guard. It's not too tall to be a guard, but it's maybe a touch on the tall side. 6'6" is more of a tackle body, I would say. But
Yeah, maybe he's the one that's the starting right guard.
I mean,
or right
he- like,
tackle.
I mean, really, it's like the limit is like over 6'6". Once you get to like those 6'7", 6'8" guys, that's where like being a guard becomes a problem because you're just too big to throw over, basically. 6'6",
wonder
you're
if-
probably fine.
I wonder if Gavin Brocious is part of this interior.
Listen, I hope he plays because he's the one that plays with the half with the half
Guess
cage
what?
bar.
We talked about this like months ago about, hey, we hope he brings that with him to Ames. He did.
Super did, yeah, absolutely did.
Yeah,
he did.
He's an interior guy.
Oh yeah, he's
Your
like
tackles-
I would imagine he'd be in the rotation at center. I'd imagine.
Yeah,
I think he played
Him-
center at Michigan State, didn't he?
him, Braden Smith.
Both guard and center. Yep.
Caden Moss.
Yeah. Yep, Caden Moss. That's the thing with this is a lot of these guys have played multiple positions. And I know Matthias's thoughts on that. Like you want a guy to find his spot and be at that spot. And I would tend to agree with that.
So you're of the like let the tackles be tackles, let the guards be guards type of thing.
For the most part.
Okay.
But that's without like I don't know what it's like being Jake Thornton.
Yeah, like in this point in time, like for this year, like I don't know if I'm like dead set on that being like the thing, just because of like we got to find something that works, and the guys that are going to be the most physical and are going to push people off the ball, like in year one. But like when we start, and you could tell like the recruiting tendencies have changed a little bit on the offensive line, where like with the previous staff we were recruiting offensive linemen, like that's how they were labeled when they were just could play multiple positions. Like now you actually see like they're labeled as interior offensive linemen versus tackles,
And
they're attacking it that way. So like we would bring in guys that were tackles, but then all of a sudden they'd be center. Like that just seems fucked up to me. Like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Some guy that's been playing tackle high school football hasn't snapped the ball that much in high school football, and like it's hard to like shotgun snap a ball more than you really think, and especially when you got to look up instantly and get hit.
It seems wild to me that Julian Good-Jones played every single spot on the line. Like to me I understand that they were just trying to get their best offensive line, their best five on the field. I get what they were trying to do, but like had you let Julian Good-Jones just be a tackle, like I don't know, that feels like he
And I mean, kudos to him being able to do that, but like,
yeah,
that's
for
a
sure.
lot. That's a lot.
And like
to put on
we made
somebody.
plenty of jokes about Julian Good-Jones over the years, but like he was the best lineman on otherwise like mediocre offensive line.
Yeah.
Right.
But like I would have to imagine that had he been able to focus on being a center or a tackle or whatever, like that would have been better for his. I mean, he's been on an NFL practice squad forever, so I mean, good on him for that. But like.
But you look at like Tom Farniok when he played center for all 4 years.
Yep, that's all he did.
And he was damn good at playing center. Like it's just
Emily, another one, only ever played tackle.
Right.
Oni Amoyle only ever played guard. Hayworth Hicks only ever played guard.
So I mean, it's just like if you can get those guys, especially you just start them on as freshmen as center or guard or tackle, whatever it is, and just grow them that way rather than okay, this guy's gonna move from guard to center just because we don't have anybody. Like, let's prepare for those years to come. This year obviously could be a little different. We have a bunch of new dudes and we're trying to find the best five, but after this year, let's get her on the right track.
I'll tell you what though, a couple guys I have not heard at all: Austin Barrett and Dontrell Holt, both carryovers from the last staff. I have not heard their names once.
Yeah, I haven't,
especially
either.
Dontrell Holt. I mean, I think I maybe heard Austin Barrett's name.
Well, I would have expected. I think
because his brother was really good, but
I think they talked about Barrett quite a bit in the spring,
maybe
as a guy that they liked. That's the other thing with this is, TJ Altenberger is so calculated when he goes to do media. He knows the exact narrative he wants to get across. He knows exactly what he's going to say. He knows every single question that's going to come his way and what potential answer he could have, and then an answer to the follow-up, and then an answer to that follow-up. Whereas I get the sense that this coaching staff more so is doing this for the first time. Not that they've never done media before, but I think it's a bit different level, and of course this offensive staff is all doing it for the first time together. I get the sense more that they're just showing up and reacting. So
they don't have a narrative.
It's important to, like, when you hear a name that's being said, like, okay, pay attention to that, but I also don't think it's the end-all be-all. I guarantee there will be some player that shows up on the 2 Deep week 1. They're like, oh, the staff hasn't even mentioned his name. And I don't think that's by design. I truly just think when Jake Thornton steps up to the plate to do media and you ask a couple names that stand out, he's trying to think, oh, I totally forgot to mention Gavin Brucius today. So I think it should be clarified that it's not all about, okay, what names are standing out.
It's not calculated. They're just like, they just didn't remember.
Doesn't it feel from like your end when you show up there to the facility, like when they're reacting like that and not being like having a planned out thing that they're going to talk about, it feels a little bit more info's there.
Oh, I like it.
It feels more genuine, like we're having a conversation about this.
Yeah, I would say when we're talking like schematics and talking just philosophy and overall football, absolutely. I feel like when we're talking individual names, you maybe learn a little bit less, unless you're asking a question directly about a player.
Sure.
Like, hey, tell me about how Sullivan Schlemgen is standing out, or tell me about his first time seeing the field at Washington State as a true freshman. I think that's where the staff is really good. It's how's the tight end room looking, where Rodgers can name 7 names, be like, oh yeah, I kind of forgot about Fortenberry.
I think I've deciphered the code on this. Are you guys familiar with Dungeons, but the Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives lore?
Yeah.
About how you can tell how if Guy Fieri likes the food or not. You guys familiar with that?
Okay, so
not too familiar. I mean, I've watched the show.
You know what the concept is. So the way the fans have figured out over the years that the way you can tell if Guy Fieri likes the food is if he goes in there and just if he like just kind of says stuff or doesn't say anything, usually means he likes the food. The way you can tell he does not like the food is if he just starts listing off like ingredients in the food. He's like, oh, I can taste the this, I can taste the this, I can taste this thing. And I think there's a similar thing here with Jimmy Rogers. He's talk about these things. He's I'm just going to start naming off names because those are the people involved with all of this. Like, these guys are doing a great job, blah, blah, blah. And he just started naming off names because it's not necessarily a particularly interesting answer to a not particularly interesting question in his mind or whatever. But when you can ask him a good question that he can really that he can drill down on, that's when you start getting that's when you start getting the really good info. So I think we have a little bit of a Triple D situation with how Jimmy Rogers answers his questions, even if he doesn't know that he's doing it.
Well, and I also think like this media day is so different than all the others. There's a group of 7, 8 of us that have been at every availability since spring ball.
Yeah.
And we have met these position coaches several times. We have met most of the players. We've done this, and this is not a shot at anybody.
Easton Dean.
We're looking forward to it, Donnie.
My point, this is not a shot at anybody, but media day, you've got people showing up for the first time. And
yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of questions that, like, there was a question today, and it was, all right, Coach Rogers, you've done this before. You did this at Washington State last year. How do you feel like your team is at this point compared to where your team was at last point? Like, he's been asked that question.
He's answered that question
10 times word for word. And that's not the individual asked the question's fault. It's just a matter of, like, he's a local TV guy. He's spent the last 6 days going to 20 different high school football practices. They don't cover Iowa State. So I don't care, because I've been in that shoe before. Like, I've asked Kirk Ferentz a question he's probably been asked 25 times. And that's how it is. But there is a lot of fluff stuff at media day where Rodgers is probably answering questions he doesn't want to answer because he's been asked them before.
Well, he got asked the, like, Tyler Rowe was your old rival. Now he's on the staff. He got asked
Yeah.
that question again.
I think we asked him that at Talons, right?
I think
we
so.
did.
I'm pretty sure we did. And I
didn't really-
That
I
may,
didn't-
that may not have even been the first time he was asked that either.
I didn't really dissect your video too much today because of like, you know, some of that stuff we've already.
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff that we've heard the answers to already. And like you said, it's not necessarily like the local TV guy or like the AP guy. It's not necessarily their fault or anything like that, but it's just like that's how you can tell though, where Jimmy's like when he is answering questions that he's answered 100 times, you can like for one, you can see this internal like size like okay, so and like 'cause he's got his pre-canned answer already ready to go because he's already answered this before.
Well, and it's also different because Media Day in the past has been what kicks off fall camp.
Yeah.
And that makes sense because like you guys were saying before I hopped on, you knew the 22 starters before fall camp even started for the most part, or you at least knew what guys would be in the running for specific spots
Right.
in the 22. And this year it's different. Like there's 82 brand new players, so it makes sense how they did a bunch of fall camp availabilities and then Media Day this year. So it just makes it different for everybody. And I went into today expecting to learn not a ton based off of the legwork that we've done at CF and CF After Dark over the last 8 months getting ready for the season. It's more just about, I think, just shaking hands with players, assistant coaches, and
One thing, I guess, a question I was thinking of today while I was watching the video, one question I kind of thought of today that it'd be good for you to ask it if it comes up again like next week to ask or something like that. So, because there's a phrase he keeps using over and over again. I'd be curious to know what his like. I'd be curious to hear him elaborate on this because he's used the phrase "this guy knows his body well," and I'm curious. Like, I think I kind of understand what he's saying there. Where he's like, but I'm curious what his. I'd be curious what his elaboration on that is. Like, is it just he knows how to take care of it? Is it he knows how to get the most out of it? He knows what he's good at, what he's not good at? I'd be curious to hear what his elaboration in that. And like, you know, he says that like Bobby Terrell knows what his body is. He knows how his body works, something like that. Like,
Yeah.
for him, what does that mean? What does it look like to know what your body works for a Bobby Terrell when you're a defensive end that has to learn how to bend around an offensive lineman versus what does it mean for a receiver to know his body well when they got to know how to use body control to go up for a jump ball or to catch a ball in traffic or something like that. You should ask that next week. If he uses that phrase again, remember that one for next week. But
will do. I didn't, and I apologize to Derek. Derek wanted me to ask a question. I didn't get a question off today.
what Derek wants you to ask?
Derek's question sucked. No, it didn't.
It was a total AI generated question. It was something like, "Hello, Mr. Rogers. I am Jake Brennan with Cyclone Fanatic. You mentioned the pajama party a couple weeks ago, and you wanted to see who had it when the pads came on. Who are some names that have had it?" I was going to ask it exactly like that.
And read it like right off of your phone, too.
Yeah. We'll be like the guy down at Big 12 Media Day is like, Tia's.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
in Stillwater, you can let the paddles go.
They're gonna be like, "Thanks for your question, Jake." We're like, "Sorry, sir, that was from one of our old fucks that we have part of our group. And he doesn't know where he is half the time."
Just like, and then like play it off like a bit in the background, like you're talking to like ChatGPT on speakerphone, and be like, "Come up with a good question at a press conference for me."
Yeah, sorry, Chris. He didn't like the question. Hey, Siri, text Chris Williams. He didn't like the question. So, what's this about Hassel? I haven't gotten the chance to watch Two Guys yet. Did you guys watch?
Oh,
I
Hassel was being a fuck. He was for one, he was in. There was a couple different points that were pissing people off.
I'm gonna
One,
watch after this. I
was
bigger
like
than 12.
He was like insistent that like there's no shot Iowa State wins 5 games, whatever. I don't care about that. And then he was saying about he was going on about how good this receiver is. He was talking about that CBS draft guy or the
Tony
the
Diaz.
CBS scout about Tony Diaz having the best FCS wide receiver tape since Travis Hunter or something like that. And Chris and Hassel was just losing it. He's like, man, I think they're gonna be this good, whatever. And he was just
We've done this
fawning over
before.
himself. The other thing though, and CW challenged him on it, like saying when basically saying that over the last however many years that Iowa State and Iowa have been essentially on even footing, because especially if you go back to like the beginning of the Kirk Ferentz era, Kirk Ferentz is like one game over 500 against Iowa State or whatever. So like in the last quarter of a century, it's basically dead even. But Hassel's like, if you even think that Iowa State's on the same plane as Iowa right now, and I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man, but it's basically dead even in the last quarter of a century. It's a last quarter. It's basically dead even in the in the lifetimes of anybody that's in college right now. I mean, CW was clearly losing all patience, and every Iowa State fan in the comments was just talking shit at Hassel and stuff the whole time. But man, it was.
We need the season to start because Hassel is just in full troll mode.
Yeah. Absolutely. We need football so bad. Man, we were talking about at the beginning of the show is like we've previewed this team every single which way about 25 times, but up to this point, it's like, man, I am just.
Well, I can share a
hate football.
a nice juicy piece of intel.
Ooh,
Oh, here we go.
I've heard from a little birdie.
Jake's
that
doing his job.
There have been people within the Iowa football facility that think this is their worst defense they've had in a decade. So, I don't know.
keep going, baby.
I don't know.
We're almost there.
I've heard that.
Speaking of
Just
coming,
tell me Hank Brown. Tell me Hank Brown's going to start.
Well,
He's going to start.
oh, I think Hank Brown's going to start game one. I really do.
You think that Hecklinski didn't win the job last Saturday?
No, because it's one practice. Like, if
is there any stats out there from the previous practice other than people were at that kids' day and keeping track of that shit?
No, I mean that's the only time you'll have any.
Was
sort of
Hecklinski
practice.
throwing against the kids? Like were the kids trying to lock up
Had to
Diaz in
have
the
been.
slot? Like
Well, I think the thing with it is like both guys have been in the program the same amount of time. There is one who's more of your prototypical pocket passer. There's one who's your scrambler. I think Hecklinski's better.
yeah.
But all we've heard since, like, I think this has been said publicly, but it's certainly behind the scenes. All you hear is that, okay, Kirk wants Brown, Lester wants Hecklinski. Like, shocker. Kirk wants the quarterback that has looked like a Kirk quarterback for the last 20 years. And at the end of the day, it's still his program. I don't know.
I think Hecklinski for him represents uncertainty, and Kirk will take low ceiling, he'll take a low ceiling quarterback that he feels like he can predict versus a higher ceiling quarterback that he doesn't know what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah. My point is that I think Iowa will be fine. They'll be good. Tony Diaz might be the best receiver they've had in 7 years, but I don't exactly think whoever's going to be their starting quarterback is going to be awesome, and I don't think their defense is going to be like the baseline for an Iowa defense is solid no matter what. And that's
The
probably
scheme is good.
That's probably underselling it. The baseline for an Iowa defense is above average no matter what.
Oh yeah.
But if they are a good offense paired with an above average defense paired with who the hell knows what their special teams is going to be. I don't know. Like,
I mean, there was a reason they tried to get Aiden Flora in the offseason. Like,
yeah. And I think it's still too early in this new Big Ten to just assume that, oh yeah, because they went 9-3 against the Big Ten West the year they had Deacon Hill, that just means, well, they'll just go 9-3 every year because they did it that year. Like, their schedule is still fairly soft outside of those 3 games they get against Michigan, Ohio State, Washington. But I don't know.
and they're going to lose all 3 of those.
I think so. But yeah.
This is a great question. Would Deshaunte Jones be the best Iowa receiver of the last decade?
Yes.
I believe he probably would be. I mean, who's your competition there?
You never would have known because he would have never gotten the ball. Like,
yeah,
Charlie Jones was awesome when he
Charlie
left.
Jones also transferred out.
That's what I'm saying is I think Deshaunte could have been someone who went there, never saw the field, and if he did see the field, he never got the ball, transferred somewhere else, and was good.
It's so funny to me that Charlie Jones was like legitimately pretty scary at Iowa. I was like, oh shit, this guy might be really fucking good. And then he transfers to Purdue of all places.
And then was awesome. And
yeah, he was
still
awesome.
in the
But
NFL. And then Smith Marset was good. They've
He
had
was over.
fine.
He was over 10 years ago, wasn't he? Remember Smith-Marset? Wasn't he
No,
back like in
no.
2013?
Because he just
Or who am I
literally
thinking
got
of?
he just literally got out of the NFL.
Right.
Well, he's still in
Tyrone
the
Tracy's
NFL.
another.
Oh,
Tyrone
yeah.
Tracy is a guy that was a receiver at Iowa, and I think all the fans wanted him to be a
Amir
running
Smith
back.
Marset is only 26, and he
Really?
graduated from Iowa, or
He was
got
on the
drafted
Rose
in
Bowl
20
team, right?
Yeah, 2020.
Oh.
Okay, I would have put. Man, I would have put Amir Smith-Marset like on the same team as like Marvin McNutt. I would have put him way
Are you
back
thinking
there.
Kuplianos or whatever his name was?
No, I think I was thinking of Amir Smith-Marset, and I don't know. What Deshaunte Jones would be a top 2 or 3 receiver at least in the last decade. But would you take Amir Smith-Marset over Deshaunte Jones? College Amir Smith-Marset over Deshaunte Jones?
No, but
I don't know that I would have.
But we also don't know like what he would have looked like in a normal college offense. That's the thing.
That's true.
Is
That's fair.
like Deshaunte Jones very well could have gone to Iowa and had 300 yards over 4 years and been a name nobody ever knew about because you had Deacon Hill and Spencer Petras throwing him the ball.
You know what's funny is I remember after Deshaunte Jones' freshman year in 2016, Matthias and I did a podcast with Clone Teach back then, and he had a prediction after Deshaunte Jones' first year that Deshaunte Jones was going to leave Iowa State holding the career receiving touchdowns record. That didn't work out, but like it was kind of funny.
It wasn't
like
a bad prediction.
Honestly, at the time, it was not a bad prediction. Now, he did not know, one, that Alan Lazard was going to put together two of the more dominant seasons in school history. And then he was going to be followed up by the most dominant season in school history. And then he was going to be followed up by like the Brandon Marshall of Iowa State of Iowa State football, followed up by 2 of the 5 best receivers of all time, or like 2 of the 5 best receivers in school history after that. So like, unfortunately, like as good as Deshaunte Jones was and maybe could have been, he was probably no better than 5th, maybe below that, even as far as just best receivers of the Campbell era. Would he be the 5th one? Maybe. I mean, I think you could probably make an argument for Michael Petway. You could make it
Lazard, Butler, Hutchinson, Higgins, Knoll. That's 5 right there. So he's 6th at the best.
Lazard, Butler, Hutchinson. Oh yeah, so he'd be 6th best. He'd be 6th at best. At best.
I don't know if I'm taking anyone else over him. I think he's a very clear 6th best out of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, because after that, you're dipping into like Michael Petway, who was only there for a year.
Marchie,
or you're talking about, or like Tariq Milton, or
yeah.
I'm trying to think if
Deshaunte
there's
was
anybody.
just so consistent,
Deshaunte was just consistent. He was just a good, like, consistent route runner,
and he was so
guy.
important that 2019 season. Let me ask this question. So we were previewing BYU on Bigger Than 12 tonight. And when I was thinking about it, there's a lot of parallels between Bear Bachmeier and Brock Purdy, just in the sense of not play style or anything like that, but storyline based off of how they took over. They were supposed to have Retzloff last year, obviously didn't. Iowa State was supposed to have Kempt, he got hurt. Really good, overachieved freshman year.
Yeah.
But Purdy had these 2 unicorns with him, Hakeem Butler, David Montgomery. And I think everyone would say that he wasn't as good his sophomore year.
Sophomore year is his highest passing total.
But
he was the most productive player his second
But
his
the
second
eye
year.
test, I think everyone would say the eye test, Brock was not as good his sophomore year as the year that followed or his freshman year. In weird ways. In some ways.
Hold on. I think that gets clouded by the fact that the 2018 team went 8-4 and probably should have won that Alamo Bowl, and the 2020 team did what they did. The 2019 team went 7-5, but it wasn't his fault.
Maybe I just have that stupid Oklahoma State
think
game
that-
ingrained in my head.
I think what it is that like the team being kind of whatever probably clouds it it obscures what is otherwise like statistically probably Brock's best season in terms of
Really
like total
good year.
production. He was really good his sophomore year. But again, like you said, actually 2019 was probably his worst receiving group as his team goes.
So, to expand the point,
Yeah.
regardless of if he was better or worse, you could argue either way.
Sure.
He had to reinvent himself that year. And without Chase Roberts, without Parker Kingston, luckily he's still got LJ Martin beside him. I do think it's an interesting, like, you really see what those quarterbacks are made of. And you can make the argument that Purdy proved his sophomore year that he was a real quarterback. Like, he had some highs and lows, as Brock Purdy always did, but he had to do it without Hakeem. He had to do it without Montgomery that year and was able to go.
He did
be
have
good.
Breece Hall.
Yeah, but he didn't have Breece Hall for 6 games. Like,
Because the West Virginia game was his breakout. And I think that was
and it was running back by committee before that.
It was,
Till
yeah.
then.
And it was like Sheldon Croney and Johnny Lang. It was a weird.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and you had Breece Hall, but he wasn't. He was Breece Hall that West Virginia game, but it wasn't. He wasn't there to take the pressure off of him. Like,
He had his
LJ
most-
Martin's going to go and average 140 yards a game for BYU. And
Yeah.
they'll have that to fall back on.
Yeah.
He had his most passing attempts that year by far.
Well, I
It was
remember
400
the Oklahoma State game.
475.
The Oklahoma State game. Check me, but I believe he threw the ball 63 times that game. 62.
Let me see if I can
That
get
game.
into that for
Look,
you.
see if you can find his game log. I think he threw the ball 62 times.
62
insane.
times.
Bang.
And that is the high for that year. But I mean, there was plenty of other
That's
games.
got to be
he
the
was in.
high for any game ever for Iowa State.
Yeah,
I would
and I mean,
imagine.
he was in. I mean, he had 6 games. He was in the 40s, throwing the ball. That's a lot.
I would believe that they went like full air raid that year.
What was the best win in 2019? Was it Texas? Beating.
Did they beat Texas?
Yeah, that was
they
the
beat
Asali
Texas.
walk-off.
Oh, that was. Oh, yeah, that was the bomb to Deshaunte Jones with the Asali walk off.
Yeah, I mean, you could say.
Man,
you could say
is that the best Brock Purdy play?
It should
That
have been.
bomb?
No,
here? Can I?
it's good, but it's not. It's not the best. The best Brock Purdy play is his first touchdown pass.
Yeah.
Or you could
That
say
was a
saved
killer.
us the embarrassment, the fumble recovery in 2019 against you and I.
I tell you what should have been the best one that year was beating Oklahoma and
Yeah.
was beating Oklahoma down in Norman. And
that
he
year
found-
was such a year of what ifs.
Oh,
Between that game.
That was the year because Baylor won the Big 12 title game that year.
And that was 10.
Yeah, we lost to Baylor by 2.
10
Lost
gate.
to Oklahoma by 1.
Because if you looked at like the
Oklahoma
analytics,
State was a disaster.
Yeah,
because
lost
it was Baylor
lost to
10-2.
Kansas State.
It was Baylor 10-2 that year, and they won the Big 12 title. And like if you look analytically, the Big 12 champion Baylor team and the 7-5 Iowa State team that year were almost identical analytically. They were basically the same football team. One just had crazy good luck, and the other one didn't.
The other had margins.
I tell you what, in that little clip of Jimmy Rogers when he said winning in the margins, my skin crawled for a second. I was like maybe I don't know, maybe this is
not again.
Maybe this is the coaching staff that won't let margins bend them over a barrel and show them the 50 states for 10 years. I don't know. That 2019 team was frustrating to watch at times because they were like,
Well, like
you could see the potential there because it was LaMichael Petway, Deshaunte Jones, and then like Sean Shaw was there.
oh yeah. Two of
Sean Shaw.
Old Sean Shaw.
the bad luck
Darren Wilson.
things that year was weather.
Yeah,
The
that was
Cyhawk
'cause
game.
South Dakota State got canceled.
Well, okay, South Dakota State. No, that would have been the year prior. That was
Year before.
2018
Was that 18? Okay.
because Drake was 2018. But there was
yeah.
there was the 2 separate weather delays in the Cyhawk game, which no doubt hurt atmosphere, it hurt momentum.
Oh, well, we would have won that game without
The team was
delays.
rolling before the weather. And then there was the Baylor tent gate. Baylor took away the tents in a game that was 110 degrees. I'm not one for excuses, but it just
That's stupid. Yeah.
that plays a factor.
Then they just like that Oklahoma game. Charlie Kohler was sitting there wide open in the end zone, and it should have been PI anyways. But Charlie Kohler was wide open there,
If you have to,
and
paint-
that was also did they get hosed against Kansas State that year too,
no, they just got.
or they got
Murdered.
They got murdered. Yeah, 2017.
I was
when
at
they got
that game.
hosed.
It was miserable.
2017 is when they got hosed.
So what was
Yeah.
the fifth loss that year? 2019 would have been
2019, the fifth
no,
loss.
they,
It would
did they beat
Notre
Kansas?
Dame.
They beat Kansas. No, they went 7-5 in the regular
that was-
season.
yeah, 7-6,
They went. They
yeah.
finished 7-6. So
Sorry.
they lost to Iowa. They lost to Baylor
Iowa, Baylor, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, and Kansas State.
and
that
Kansas
five?
State. That was your 5
Oh, that
regular
is 5.
season losses. Yeah.
Oh
okay.
yeah, I was forgetting Iowa.
They almost lost to Kansas because Puka Williams had 200 and something total yards or 189.
That's an
total
underrated
yards.
Brock game. He was
Kansas?
awesome that game.
He was
in
good against
2019.
Kansas. Yeah.
372 yards passing, 4 touchdowns.
And they needed to score in the fourth quarter of that one. Like
We did not go
remember
in for it. We went 7-5 in the regular season. Then we finished 7-6.
Yep. 33-9 loss to Notre Dame in the Camping World Bowl.
Shout out to Chase Claypool and Ian Book.
Zamir Hawk today. He had some good stuff about Jalen Rayner.
Oh yeah.
All right. Go
He had
ahead.
to say.
Well, we just asked like what was your impression playing against him? He's like, I
he's
don't
a
know.
slippery bastard.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what it is about that guy. He's impossible to tackle, which is good. And he kind of went into the specifics of it, like super broad shoulders, like just
Just shakes guys off pretty easy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to.
He's our best runner since Seneca Wallace. And I'm very excited to see that.
Yeah,
I wonder how much like we're gonna actually dial up designed quarterback runs with him, or just like utilize the whole like Caleb Williams situations, because the offense will be kind of like similar in a way with the pro style or fundamentals and stuff like that, where Caleb's not like a designed runner, but he can. So, but obviously college is a little bit different, where they're more
Yeah.
willing to run the quarterback.
I don't know. It's kind of tough to say. I think you'd have to play it matchup by matchup. I don't think
I
you
think
would
that'd
do.
be something to.
I think
to
you would
watch.
limit it against like a team like Iowa that's going to be super
Oh,
physical.
for sure.
But like against a team, but again, like early on, you get like SEMO or Bowling Green, West Virginia. I think those types of teams that have a little bit softer defenses. I think
Like
you
how much
definitely-
RPO is going to be a factor into all this,
Right.
like all that stuff.
I mean, I feel like RPOs are definitely going to be they're definitely going to be a pretty significant part of this thing, along with just your normal play actions and stuff like that.
I'm ready to watch some naked bootlegs.
Oh yeah,
As long as they're going to the right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if it's truly just a naked boot into just it's just a run
To the
read,
left.
then left is fine. But if you're doing any sort of boot where there's a throwing option, please God, make it go to the right.
that
I
reminds
saw
me.
there
of
are way
the-
too many highlights of Seneca rolling to his left and then having to crank his body around to deliver a
Yeah.
ball 10 yards down the field. It's crazy.
It reminds me of the Jake would remember this, but the Peyton Manning Thanksgiving Day naked bootleg when he's on the Broncos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They all crash the line and he's just rolling out to the left, just walking in. Peyton Manning. Go for
There's just it blows my mind. Prior to Mauser, how the team just never utilized going under center.
Yeah.
It really is so bizarre to look back on. Like, why was that never an option? Because it opens up so much.
Was it
And
a Mauser thing or was it a roll thing?
Well,
I mean, you could make
was
it a
the
case for
chicken or the
both.
egg?
I think you would make a case. I would be inclined to first make the case that it was Roll's influence that put him under center.
Yeah,
Well,
I was less focusing on whose idea it was and more the fact that they actually used it that year, and I
They
think
just did it. Yeah.
it brought a lot of success. And
Yeah.
I don't think it's a coincidence that 24 team, that was the best offense, arguably, of the Campbell era, and a lot of that had to do with roll. When you could argue that was it was it was bottom half of the Campbell era in terms of running backs, because 3 of those years you had David Montgomery, 3 of those years you had Breece Hall. Hansen was really good that year in goal line situations, and Sama was largely not great that year, but Roll made it work. And I think that year of creative running was really, really good, and it opened up so much with the Mauser creativity of tight end pop passes and stuff like that. But man, I thought the run game that year was great because of the scheme.
I would agree. I would totally agree that, like, I that's why I have a lot of hope for this offense. They're not going to be like an explosive offense, I don't think, but
It's got to be effective.
I think we've up to this point, I think we've really undersold how efficient it could be. Like, it doesn't have to be explosive. It doesn't have to score 40 points to be a good offense. It just has to be efficient. It can be a Tony Bennett Virginia offense where it's the slowest offense you've ever seen. They score 62 points a game, but they're really damn efficient scoring that 62 points, and and they pair it up with a really insanely good defense. And I think I think that's how Iowa State's going to try to do this. Like, I don't think I am not willing to concede the ground that Iowa State's offense is going to be bad just because it's not going to score 45 a game. Like, it can be efficient and do what it's supposed to do, and as long as you score most of the time, you're gonna be good. Like, you just are.
I think I would place the stock in a long-term value. Like, I fully believe in the Tyler Roll game plan over the course of 5 years. For me, the downside is just the talent. If the talent doesn't translate to this level this season, if the offensive line that is relying on, frankly, guys that are leaving their Power 4 schools for a reason, whether it's injury, whether it's playing time, or coming up a level, there is a world where that doesn't mesh and it doesn't work out.
Right.
Sure.
But if we're still talking like, am I buying the Tyler Roll offense for 5 years? I am. And
big time, yeah.
And that's where I think they'll be somewhere in like the 60s to 80s in terms of like total college football out of 130 teams. Where they're going to be total offense, points, stuff like that. But if you tell me they're going to be in the 90s because they don't have the skill, then I'll be like, okay, that makes sense. But I don't know.
To me, there's going to be a lot of total offense people that are going to expose themselves as knowing absolutely zero ball with this offense. Like, and that's going to be, it'll be a little bit entertaining for people. Like there's going to be there'll be national people like, well, I would say it's only scoring 24 points a game and they're in their 85th in total offense. And we're like, yeah, but they're scoring on like a huge portion of their drives, and they're converting first downs and they're getting clock.
And it's funny you said 24 points a game, because that's kind of where the Campbell offense is hung around too, is 24 points a game. So it's
they seemed like a lot more explosive than this one theoretically should be. But like 24 points a game isn't like, it's not a big number. So it's like, I think
you pair 24 points a game with a pretty good defense, like you're going to win some.
You're going to win a lot of games. Yeah.
Well, and the other element of it too is like Campbell and his staff, for the most part, were terrified of special teams mistakes, and they still happened regardless.
Yeah.
But there was like a 5-year stretch where they didn't return a single punt.
Nope.
Whereas this staff is going to take advantage of having Flora and Petaway, and
well, we have
hopefully they stay healthy.
I think that,
and if those guys can earn 30 yards, 50 yards a game of punt return yards, that is taking away the burden that you have to put on Rayner in the offense. And that, I think, is probably what the stats will never be able to tell. But if it works that way,
yeah, I mean, because I think
plus Conrarty, like that,
right?
The last punt return for a touchdown before Flora was the Trevor Ryan one against UNI, wasn't it? Yeah, like that was like 6 years, 7 years, like that. Something. It was because Trevor Ryan's was in 2019.
That was
right, or 17. Was it 17 or 19?
Because it was right after the Oklahoma game.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. So it was 2017 to 2025, 8 years between punt return for touchdowns. Like, that's insane.
Not counting the Jalen Knoll robbery against Kansas in 23.
Yeah, that's but still, like,
the point is, it was rare if you saw anybody return a punt.
They refused to take advantage of the hidden yardage. Refused to do it.
And that's where this year's going to be huge with that too. Like, you mean Jake just mentioned Conrarty. It's, that you got a weapon essentially that can score an automatic 3 points from, anywhere on the other side of the 50-yard line. So we're a team that's going to assumingly struggle to score touchdowns early on while they're getting their feet under them. If you can gain an extra 10, 15 yards on the punt return and get yourself that much closer to field goal range, it's going to help you out.
Well, in 2024, I can't remember exactly where that team ranked in explosive plays, but they had to be top 10 in college football, just between Knoll and Higgins. What constitutes an explosive play? Is it 20, 25 yards?
I think it's like 10 yards for a run.
I think it's over 10 yards for a run and over 15 for a pass.
For a pass.
Okay. I would venture to guess that this team will be towards the bottom of the Big 12 in that stat this year, and that's okay. They're not going to be a home run offense. Sure, someone might break loose a big touchdown against SEMO or something like that, but
it's 20 yards for a pass and greater than 12 for a run.
Related note, I found an article. It's from PFF of the 5 most explosive and 5 least explosive offenses from 2021 to 2025. Who would you guess is on the least explosive list?
University of Iowa.
They're second to UMass. UMass had 449 explosive plays over the previous 5 seasons. Iowa, 451. Nearly less explosive than UMass.
Shout out to the Minutemen.
Oh, man.
Well, and I think, even with it just depends on what this wide receiver rotation kind of transpires to be and how the offensive line holds up in passing. Like, if what I think is going to happen with this passing game, getting some of these guys into open field and, letting them do the work rather than the pass leading them to those explosive plays, like if you can get those guys in the open field and scheme them open, you can easily generate those explosive pass plays. But, 20 yards is a lot of a clip, too, just to get an explosive play.
I mean,
so
you think 20 yards is a lot? Like 6 inches is a lot.
Well, that's average.
It's all about how you get there. So for what it's worth, in 2024, Iowa State was 18th in the country in explosive plays.
Okay,
that sounds
which feels right.
What were we last year?
Last year
they had to be in the 60s or 70s.
79.
Yeah.
Okay.
Horrible. Yeah. So
we were 79th in explosive plays last year and still bowl eligible. So
it should be noted too that even when things were going well last year, it never felt in sync.
It felt bad.
It did.
Yep.
And I think a part of that can just be attributed to Ireland. That game was pouring. You can't really take any stat from that game. They won. That's all that matters.
They had some explosive plays that game, though. Askelson Askelson and Overby both had explosive touchdown catches.
Hansen was just bulldozing in the fourth
Hansen
quarter.
had a crazy second half.
But Iowa, they should have beat Iowa by 20 that game.
Oh yeah.
The fact that it came down to that Canardi kick, it was just never in sync last year, and that's I think Bloom made the really good point a couple of weeks ago on Williams and Bloom that you can look at these names, and that's part of being a fan. You inflate player X, player Y because you know them and you've watched them play, and you can be sad that Rocco left, of course, and Hansen and Bramer and Burkle and all those guys. At the end of the day, none of them are, other than Bramer, none of them are like superstars within college football. And you had all of those names last year, and the output was pretty bad.
It was bad. Yeah.
It was below average overall, and it was really bad when you compare it to expectations. So you can be upset about everyone leaving, and I completely get it. But starting from scratch, you're not replacing the 2000 Rams. You're just not. You're not even replacing the 2021 Iowa State Cyclones.
Shout out Kurt Warner.
He's going into the UNI Hall of Fame.
Yes, he sure is.
But I mean, if you look at like the 2024 offense, there's the 2024 offense. There's some like similarities there that you should be intrigued by. Like, do you have the deep bomb threat like Jalen Knoll? No, you don't. Well, I mean, You might, but how much do you rely? How much do you like Jalen Rayner's deep ball compared to like Rocco's? For the many
Rocco
things that
threw such a good deep
I say for the many things that Rocco did and did not do well, one thing he does do very well. He throws a really nice deep ball. So how much do you like Jalen Rayner's deep balls? I don't know, but how many times can you think of in that 2024 season where Carson Hansen broke off a big run and then didn't finish it?
That's why they lost the BYU game last year.
Tons of it, yeah. Because Carson Hansen did not have the speed to finish off long runs.
If Flora gets to that point, he does.
If Flora and Petaway get in the open field, they're gone. Like nobody is catching them. They are gone. And that's the thing is like, in the 24 team, your lethal speed was at receiver with Jalen Knoll. That was your lethal speed. Now your lethal speed is at running back, and you have two of them. And you have a running game that's designed to get those guys moving downhill. And not only that, we got Ozark Sydney out here. Shout out Sydney.
Lots of comments about the jacket, Jake.
I found this on Facebook Marketplace for like $30.
Hell yeah.
It's a good jacket.
Yeah, which I love Facebook Marketplace, and I find so much sick Iowa State retro gear on there. The problem, it's all like double XL every single time.
Yeah, it always is. Yeah.
So I finally found something my size.
Yeah, I'm honestly I'm gonna miss Abu a lot more than I'm gonna miss Carson Hansen. I know Abu kind of caught some strays because there were like he would bounce things outside sometimes, which I think that's kind of an overblown narrative. But too, the zone read running scheme was terrible for him. They should have it was just a bad scheme fit for Abu.
Can I make an Abu Sama comparison?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Levi might break his computer.
Okay.
George Condit.
George Condit?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Hear me out.
That was not what I was expecting.
What?
All right.
You know what? I'm not going to explain it. I'm just going to keep it.
I want to hear it.
Yeah.
I want to hear. I want to know what the equivalent of George Condit going off for 275 yards against Kansas State is.
There isn't one.
That's exactly right.
What? No, there is an equivalent. There is. It's when he scored like 35 points in a FIBA game when he was 17 and he was playing with like 20-year-olds. And he was coming in this class with Halliburton and Horton Tucker and all those guys. My point is, I think, as you were saying with Sama, he was probably in the wrong fit for an offense.
Exactly.
Like vision is not his strength, and he was so hurt by playing with Caden Proctor in high school to where he never had to make a read.
Right.
Ever. Because he had the best offensive line in the state, and he's like Flora, where if he hits the hole, he's going to score.
He's going to score.
For Samu, it was always a matter of hitting the hole, and when you go from playing behind 5-star offensive tackle in the state of Iowa, who's now in the NFL, to playing on a average offensive line in the Big 12, and you have to be creative with hitting the holes and super calculated, he did not adjust well. And there's a reason why his most iconic game came in the snow, because the vision didn't matter as much. It was just finding the hole and hitting it. With Condit, I think he was misused by Steve Prohm. And I think
should have been on the bench.
Shocker.
But he was pretty good his senior year under Otts. Compared to what he was as a junior.
I don't know.
He went from unplayable for 3 years
to unplayable his fourth year.
No, that's not true.
I will say I'm not gonna trash the kid because he probably doesn't deserve it, but there's a Nate Schuster story out there, and I'll never share it because he can share it someday if he wants in his memoir that he writes. But
you're just gonna tease a juicy George Condit story.
Yeah,
like,
well, you know it.
I know it, but we're just like,
yeah,
I'm just
that's
gonna.
why. That's
you're
why
just like,
I'm not
you're like, guess what,
this.
audience? We have this fun story, and you can't hear it.
How many
I
copies
don't know
is
if
Nate
it's
Schuster's
not
memoir going to sell?
All of them. Hey, he's
all due
got
respect.
stories, man.
He does. I will help write the book in 20 years of Untold,
Dude,
the 2018-19 Cyclones.
Just the he could call it like the fly on the wall during the Prohm era.
And thank you to J Chicken 84 in saying that he was night and day better under TJ. My point is, I think if Sama stayed with this new staff, he would have been far better in this offense and probably could have redeemed his legacy a little bit more if he was playing in a downhill, run the football, don't think about the hole, just hit the whole offense.
I think people are forgetting how good like Sama clearly could be. Like his ceiling is absurd. Like do you remember, for as miserable as the Colorado game was last year?
He was awesome in that game.
Do you remember how many yards Abu Sama had against Colorado? What would you guess?
Like 184.
He had like 185 yards against Colorado. It was insane. He was so good. He had the 275 against Kansas State. He had like 260 against BYU. Like, if the guy found any running room whatsoever, it was 30 yards every time. Like, in an offense like this where you could get downhill, follow a couple lead blockers, and then just make a cut and get outside and go, he could rush for 2,000 yards. Like he was that good. Like he was insane.
Well, now that we've switched this to a basketball comparison, and while we still have Jake here, anything on the Kylian Toure situation that you are allowed to elaborate on there, Jake?
I mean, there was a false report that he was at practice. He was not at practice.
I did not see that false report.
He was at Damian Lillard camp, and I don't exactly know why he was out there. I can say that he was not sent there by Iowa State. I think that was on his own accord. But the program can't really say much until they have an official MRI. We'll see what they do. I think there's a chance that they bring in another player. Otzelberger, however, said that he's not evaluating any of the 2022 guys until there's an official NCAA rule change. So I think they're going to have to bring in somebody. Because if Toure, if he's out till January, and
what you saying, Jake?
I'm not saying anything.
What you saying, Jake? Who are you talking about?
There's going to be a lot of, you look at Trey Campbell from UNI, who's going to Utah now. There's a lot of guys like that who just finished up their pro basketball career and were probably either going to be done playing or go overseas. I think about Heisey. If Heisey wasn't going to be a seventh-year senior, he's a guy that I think would be coming back.
Sure. Yeah.
But, I know everyone's going to ask about Tamin Lipsey. He's also recovering from an injury and is in an NBA organization. I'm not going to say it won't happen.
When is Tamin not?
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's just a matter of there's a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah,
with this, and I think there will be more clarity.
That people will get a fifth year.
I just want the NCAA to pass the rule.
Yeah,
and then I think we'll have clarity.
Well, you need Congress to pass the law.
Well, they don't need Congress to do anything because the NCAA can just come out and say,
"What can the NCAA? The NCAA can't do anything. They don't exist."
Well, no, they can. The NCAA can just rule that fifth-year players that came into college in 2022 are eligible.
They won't, though.
Why not, though?
Because they're going to make Congress do it.
They're going to lose the lawsuit, which they pretty much already have.
They lose every lawsuit. I mean, it's stupid, but the NCAA
they're 0-4.
They're 0 for forever in lawsuits. At this point, there's no reason for the NCAA to exist. It basically doesn't exist.
So the whole of all these college basketball players coming back, and today it's exploded of NFL players playing in preseason games this year are now entering the transfer portal and getting back into college for this year. This whole thing is just
it's fucked.
It's whack.
But even now, school starts next week, and then the basketball season will start in October. But it's safe theoretically, Tamin Lipsey could come back. Can he start school in the middle of the year? How would that even I don't know.
I mean, because the problem with the NCAA,
maybe they're not even required to take classes anymore.
The problem with the NCAA trying to enforce something is they'd say they can come back for a fifth year. But then they would try to enforce but nobody that's signed a pro contract or nobody that's made money professionally playing their sport, and then that gets sued. And when that gets challenged in court, When that gets challenged in court, the whole thing gets challenged in court. So like you can't like the NCAA, no matter even if they're ruling in favor of things, somebody is going to push back on the NCAA just because it's the NCAA.
Yeah. And
So like,
that's
it has to be Congress. Congress has to do it.
I don't know why they couldn't have passed this rule like 3 months earlier. What
That
was
would make too
stopping
much
them?
sense.
Because at this point, like I am furious, and Redbird 1984 makes the point that I was just about to make. Why should Texas Tech just get this life raft out of nowhere? Like the Iowa State situation is different. If they add a player, it's not going to be because they had some shortcoming in the portal. They've had 2 injuries, one season ending, one potentially season ending. We'll see how bad the Toure situation is. But Texas Tech, I thought Grant McCaslin did a horrible job putting together his roster. And they lost Jalen Petty, who a program like Tech, who has as much money as they do, should never be losing a freshman guard that showed as much promise as he did. And he went to UCLA. Was he pissed at McCaslin about playing time? Was it NI? I don't know what it was. But regardless, I think Texas Tech, as is June 1st, when they didn't have Darian Williams or Donovan Atwell on their roster, they were going to be like a 7th or 8th place team in the Big 12. And now you could argue they might win the league because they've been able to add all these players combined with what they brought in. And I don't think it gives any advantage to the coaches that did their due diligence and actually put together a good roster when you're supposed to, but it's the wild, wild west, and that's what happens.
Yeah, you either adapt with their or play dirty by the rules in a way, but it looks dirty, but it's really not.
Texas Tech is just making tons and tons of hay on pushing the envelope
limits
as far as they possibly can. The NCAA gives them an inch, the courts take a mile, Texas Tech takes 10 miles that, and they're just going to keep going until someone tells them to stop. And I honestly think, at least to a certain extent, part of it is kind of intentional. It is intentional on the part of Texas Tech, which at this point is just Cody Campbell University. Yeah, that the more ridiculous they can be, the quicker, the more urgency they can create for the congressional bill and try to get this. We have to pass this thing because Texas Tech is doing the dumbest shit you can think of.
Yeah, I think Iowa State has to add a player, but TJ is going to follow the rules.
Yeah,
and trust me, adding a player, could it mean Taman? Possibly. I really have no idea.
On the thing is, at this point in the calendar, how many options do you really have?
And it could just be, okay, this Dom Nelson from last year, this kid who had good stats, but his pro career was done, and we just need to go get an 11th man, because that's what they need at this point. If Toure is done until January or November or March, whatever number it is, you are left with Jaquan Johnson, Jamarian Bateman, Yusuf Gray, and Anthony Rise as 4 guards. One's a true freshman who's also coming off of a labrum injury. One's a walk-on that I don't think I think, with all due respect to Anthony Rise, I think he's far closer to a Conrad Hawley walk-on than a Cade Kelderman walk-on. He can shoot, though. He was a good shooter in high school. So they're going to need to find a way to bring in a guard. And
what's Cade Kelderman doing right now?
What's Terrence Lewis up to?
Oh, my God.
With a certain woman.
I was going to say he's busy. He's busy
not
getting
Larry's
busy.
mom.
Terrence Lewis is busy getting busy.
Not Larry's mom.
Yeah,
Hey, let's not.
I did not advocate for
here,
Dom
Donnie.
Nelson. I advocated for, it's a possibility that they bring in a player like Dom Nelson.
just some guy to eat some minutes here and there, but
And it's
much.
not even at this point I don't know for certain if they need another guard to be able to play, but they absolutely need a guard to have in case someone gets hurt. Because what's to say that Bateman doesn't twist an ankle in December and miss 4 games?
Mm-hmm.
And granted, Prather and Bond are guys that can play the 2. So those guys are fringe. They're guard/wing. They're both 6'5", so it
Bond can be your Iman Shumpert.
yeah,
You
they're
go
just
huge.
not they're
You just
not
go huge.
ball handlers by any means. So they're going to need some sort of insurance, and we'll see.
Yeah,
I don't know what type of
depending-
options are out there.
Yeah, depending on the type of level of injury this is to this labrum, but it's anywhere from 6 weeks to months.
And I should clarify, they don't even know for sure if it's a labrum.
Yeah,
It could be a rotator cuff, which would probably be worse than a labrum.
that's even worse.
Oh,
It
that would
could-
be much worse.
It could be a separated. I don't know. So it could be anywhere, and I think they'll have clarity sometime in the next week or so. But they waited until Christian Wiggins got surgery because they knew, okay, this is the diagnosis, this is the recovery. That's when they waited to put out a statement. And so, and in this case, I'm sure whenever Toure gets surgery or whenever they find out he needs surgery, they'll send out a release. But it sucks because like you want Kylian Toure out there. He's
Well, yeah, and just specifically the strides that he made, in the NCAA tournament where he just started playing really well, and high hopes going into the season to take another step forward. It just, an injury like that could set you back again. Even if he comes back and he's playing in games sooner than we think, it just could be another, step back because he's going to miss, fall practices,
right.
preseason games, and whole thing sucks.
Well, Andy was dealing with a shoulder at the start of summer, and he's trying to pull a Taman Lipsy of the freshman to sophomore year jump shot improvement. And you can't improve your jumper if you're hurt, especially if your shoulder's hurt. So
Yeah.
it's bad all around. We'll see. The good news is that Jaquan Johnson's good, and he was the Missouri Valley Defense Player of the Year for a reason. He was the runner-up Valley Player of the Year overall, and he can shoot. We'll just see how he is getting to the rim. I still stand firm that Johnson's probably a better 20 minutes a game guy than a 30-minute a game guy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where
This kind of thrusts that number up instantly.
yeah,
Based-
no question. But we'll see. Who's the Merrill Holden of Iowa State football?
The guy that played way more than he should have. Cartavius Norton.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
He
But
got hurt though,
Cartavius
too.
had a little bit of hype around him.
I guess. And honestly, and I'll be the first one to admit, I was part of that hype because I watched him in that open spring practice, and
We've got Rodney Coe, and then we've got Landon Akers.
No, don't you
Landon
dare
Akers.
slander Landon Akers like that. Don't you
10
dare
minutes
slander.
suspension for Donnie.
Yeah, that's no good, Donnie. Yeah, we do not slander Landon Akers around here.
That's Super Bowl champion Landon Akers to you.
Yeah. You know what? I'll throw out a Sean Shaw.
He came to mind.
I'll throw out a Sean Shaw. I'll throw out Colby Reeder.
Colby Reeder was good. He was just hurt.
No, he wasn't.
And also,
He was bad.
Felt like we also didn't really have much of a choice.
Landon Akers was also an amazing special teams player. He was a really, really good special teams player. So I don't want to hear that.
It's got to be a guy that was just brought in to be
just a guy.
And all he was a guy. But
And
not
even
great
then,
at-
still probably played
but-
too much.
wasn't great at being a guy.
Yeah.
Joe Skates.
No, too
No,
much
no.
hype.
Joe Skates was a 4-star. We thought he was going to be God.
I feel like it's got to be one of those post Kohler and Allen tight ends.
How about? Oh
Jared Russ.
no,
The Russ bus? What?
Oh wait, no. Who was the H back before Russ? There was one in between. Wasn't there one in
Buckner?
between? No, there was one in between Sainer and Russ. And Oh, that Donnie's right. DeMonte Ruth. Either him or Datron Young. One of those
DeMonte
two corners.
DeMonte Ruth was actively ass.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. I
You
tell
know
you
what,
what,
Donnie, you recovered nicely. Good job, Donnie.
At the buzzer.
one guy, I think my like
Basketball season, boys. Basketball season.
yeah, offensive will be closer to like October, November type of thing once we start getting preseason type of stuff rolling. Datron Young would be another good pick there. Real bad. Just not. He had his moments though. I feel like.
That's who you're thinking of, Jake?
Oh yeah, Steve Klotz was.
Maybe
the
I was
H-back
thinking
there.
of Russ. I don't know.
But Steve-O was a pretty good. Well, I mean, both of them were pretty just good.
Oh wait,
lead
wasn't
blockers.
there? Who was the H back when Klotz was hurt?
Oh,
Because
backup H-back?
Steve-O missed like 5 games.
Are you talking on like that 2022 team?
I think this was 23.
Let's find out.
Here, I got it. I'm already on the roster here. So let's go.
So am I. You little shitburger.
You know, fuck you.
I can't believe we are deep diving the backup H back in
We're
2023
looking at
to compare
backup
him to
H-backs.
Merrill Holden.
Welcome to the nightcap, Jake.
Okay, yeah. Congratulations.
This whole
is this your first time
podcast
here?
this whole podcast is made up at this point.
All right. Where the God? They're at the bottom of the
We've
roster,
never
aren't they?
once
Okay.
we've never once put together a rundown.
Shout out Easton Miller that was on that 2023 team.
Trip
Still
Walsh.
on the team. Trip Walsh didn't hardly play though. Oh, here you go. You know who Merrill Holden is? Deshaun Hanukkah.
Oh my God.
Deshaun Hanukkah was supposed to be a guy, not like a guy, but like a guy, and he came in and did nothing. Nothing.
Well, he got kicked off for gambling, for starters.
Deshaun
Don't
Hanukkah?
do that.
Didn't he?
No.
He transferred
Allegedly?
he transferred to Kansas.
I think
what
he
about
was-
Jack Bajorn?
I think he was like
Jack
a,
Bjorn. Yeah.
I think he was like a Remsburg level, where it was like a 6-game suspension or something, and then
Maybe. See,
went somewhere else.
Easton Dean was like, he was like
Easton Dean, Solomon Young.
Easton Dean. I don't know about that.
What about
Was he too
Solomon-
good to be Solomon Young or too bad to be Solomon Young?
He's not good enough to be Solomon Young.
what
Easton
about
Dean was
another
bad. Easton
How
was
good
bad.
do you think
Solomon Young was? I think Solomon Young was pretty rock solid for most of his career, but had he played like under TJ Otzelberger, he would have been insane. Like
Yeah.
I think Solomon Young, like if let's say he played his entire career for TJ, I think by the end of his career, he's like a 14-9, 14-10 with 2.5 blocks guy. I think he's like really, really good under TJ.
Easton Dean would be
Easton Dean. So Easton Dean was brought in as a quarterback, swapped to tight end.
great high school tape.
Kinda. I don't mean, yeah. Then he swapped to tight end. He sat behind some really good players. Was supposed to be the heir apparent. Got hype from the staff, like a lot of hype from the staff, and was literally nothing. I don't think he can be Merle Holden because Merle Holden did not have hype. He was just there.
Latrell Bankston.
Latrell Bankston was really good in his 1 year. He was good. Like if he had stuck around and like if he had been on the team for 2021,
Here's another one.
I think he'd been really good.
He did end up graduating at Iowa State, but Andrew Keller had some pretty good, when he was getting recruited out of Wisconsin there to come to Iowa State, like everybody thought he was going to be pretty solid, and he just never played.
He never played because he was
Banged
always
up.
hurt. He was always hurt.
Banged up a lot, but
He medically retired.
So
I think he medically retired even before last season. I want to say it was. I think that sounds right.
What about Darren Wilson Jr.?
Darren Wilson's a good candidate for this because they brought him in as like to be like the third or fourth receiver, and he was sometimes
never did
that,
it.
but usually below that. Because his whole bit was he was like fast, but he was like not that fast. Sean Shaw, I think, had too much hype to be Merrill Holden because we thought he was like 6'6". We thought he was the heir apparent to the tall Iowa State receiver lineage.
he
And
had
just
the
wasn't.
he had the tools. He just never could
Never put it
There
together.
would be like the Kansas State touchdowns that he had. Like you're like,
I got
okay,
it.
it's there, and then it would just fall apart.
Tristan Michaud.
That's not where I was going. I was gonna say Matt Leo.
Oh, I don't know. Matt Leo had his
Too much
moments. I think Matt Leo had too much hype, and I think he had his moments. And he had a shot on an NFL practice squad.
And he's still in the Philadelphia Eagles organization today.
Yes.
Deion Silas is a decent one.
Deion Silas is a decent name. Came here to be just like one of the guys. Had like one good play in garbage time. Was otherwise
And everybody thought he should play more after that. And
nothing than transferred to Rhode Island. Either Rhode Island or Maine. Because like Greg Gaines and Deion Silas, one went to Maine, one went to Rhode Island.
Gaines went to Rhode Island.
Gaines went to Rhode
yeah.
Island. I think Deion Silas went to Maine.
He's still playing, by the way. Greg Gaines is. I can't speak for Deion.
Yes. Yeah, he's done at Florida International, Florida Atlantic.
That sounds right.
I think Florida
For Lane
International.
Kiffin.
Florida International, noted alma mater of one T.Y. Hilton.
Isn't that where J.J. Cole is?
It is where J.J. Cole is, the starting quarterback.
Yep.
What about
I love doing these games of like, who's this guy of this different sport?
what about
I love this
Azuna? Chima Azuna?
Chima.
He was a
Oh, like
corner.
Arnold Azuna? Do you go by Chima?
I thought so.
Is that his nickname? I know his real name is Arnold Azuna. The corner?
Yeah.
I remember him, but I don't remember.
I vaguely remember him.
remember the name. I just don't.
Here's a name from the early Campbell eras that is not Merrill Holden, but is like a classic. Like, this guy was better than you think he was and should have gotten more hype. Was Reggie Wilkerson, the Georgia transfer?
Oh, yeah.
Reggie Wilkerson, very solid player, and like he only got 1 year at Iowa State, but he was real, or maybe it was 2 years, but he was really, really solid. I really liked Reggie Wilkerson.
Who would be the Lawrence White of Iowa State basketball?
Okay, so Lawrence White was a 4-year starter, really solid, but never the best player in his position group.
Yeah.
Just really solid. Just
So he doesn't-
showed up, did his job.
Doesn't have to be a starter equivalent in basketball.
Oh,
Because you can be like a
DeAndre
seventh.
Payne is my guy.
I love
Payne's
DeAndre Payne.
So he came to our tailgate a few years ago. He's awesome, dude. I think he, at least at the time, he was coaching around here. I don't know if he still is or not, but so Lawrence White, yeah, just showed up, just did his job.
Chicken says Heisey.
Heisey's not a bad. Heisey's not a bad.
That's the first
comp
name
there.
that came to my brain.
Heisey's not a bad comp there. Just showed up, did his job. Didn't always have a pick or always have a bunch of tackles, but just showed up and just did his job all the time. I like the Heisey comp there.
The
Like, I would take a Lawrence White on this team so fast.
what was
Yeah, I feel like that's a guy you could always want.
You could plug him in on any team and he'd be good.
hey,
so who-
Bob Jones just showed up and did his job. Sometimes
Who's the
wasn't great,
Bob
but he
Jones
did
of
it.
Iowa State football? Who's the Bob Jones of Iowa State football?
Guy that played hard and sometimes it was fucked up, but
Was
then also
real
could make
shitty for a little while, and then real shitty
moments.
try hard that became a marginally effective try hard later on, and was still then ended up becoming kind of a fan favorite.
God, this one's hard.
I'd like. Can I nominate Joel Lanning here, or is Joel too good for Bob?
Joel's
Jones?
too good.
Joel might be too good for Bob Jones. Caleb Bacon's an okay poll.
Ben Nickel.
Ben Nickel.
That's not bad.
I mean,
Listen, that's actually a pretty solid.
I mean,
Ben Nickel, who is still in the NFL somehow.
I mean, that's not.
Listen, I kind of love that comp. I kind of love that. That's amazing. Ben Nickel forged an NFL career out of literally one play where he chased a guy down.
Rory Walling.
I
Did
feel
his
like
job,
Rory's
played hard.
Rory is more of a specialist than he was like a bad
And
player.
Rory's more your guy that like
Anthony Johnson's way better than
Rory
Bob Jones.
Walling would be more like Cade Kelderman.
Anthony Johnson was a freshman All Big 12 player. He was really good his whole career. Like,
Yeah, Anthony Johnson is
Anthony
like,
Johnson
you
is
could
one
argue-
of
you
still
could
in
say
the
he's-
NFL.
Anthony Johnson is probably I would argue I'm going to say the third or fourth best defensive player of the Campbell era.
Yeah, and there's a
Will,
reason
Will McDonald's number one. He's a clear number one. Number two might be
Jaquan
Mike
Bailey.
Rose or
I'd go Jaquan and Mike Rose 2-3 instead of
Anthony then I'd go Anthony Johnson 4 probably.
Over
Anthony
TJ
Johnson. Anthony Johnson.
I would take
may
Anthony
be-
Johnson over TJ Tampa.
Anthony Johnson may be starting for the Bears at this rate with all the injuries they're having.
I think I would take Anthony Johnson over TJ Tampa's really good though.
It's probably
Yeah.
those 5 though.
It's those 5. That's your top 5 though.
And then you're probably throwing Eisworth,
I think Eisworth is there, but he was a transfer.
Dom Orange.
Dom Orange was really good. Dom Orange was really mostly dominant his last 2 years though. His first 2 years were pretty spotty.
Got better shape and things like that.
Yeah, he got in shape and all that. Verdon was good. Probably maybe closer to like 10 or 15 than top
How many
5.
safeties did we have that? I mean, like you talk about Eisworth and Verdon, like guys that were
Freeler.
really good, and Freeler all just basically put their bodies on the
Just
line.
broken human beings by the time they left. Well,
destroyed
that was the
themselves.
scheme though. That was the scheme. Is they just all they did was they just used their safeties as meat shields.
Flying
They
around
used-
with reckless
they used-
abandon.
Iowa State's defense used safeties like the Russians used human beings in war in the early 1900s. Just throw more bodies at them and see what
All
happens.
the names just popping up here on the side just remind me like that guy's hurt. That guy was hurt. Hey, he was hurt too.
I mean, do you remember Verdon looked like a cyborg in that Big 12 championship game
Big 12,
because he had so many braces on. He looked like a cyborg.
He was taped up to no end.
He looked like he was wearing a mech suit from Titanfall. Like it was kind of insane.
Good pull.
And good game.
Great game.
And like Bo Freeler, obviously he was hurt. Like he should have medically retired before that 24 season, but he stuck it out and then still blew out his knee in his final game.
Yep.
I was crying when he was left the field. I was like, it can't end like this.
Bo Freeler's got a little bit of Tame and Lipsy to him.
Oh, a lot of Taman. I would argue Taman Lipsy has a lot of Bo Freeler to him.
Yeah, I would say that would be.
I think Taman Lipsy's got a Bo Freeler to him.
I
know Taman's the hometown
right now.
I know. Oh my God, if I could take any Cyclone football player out of the, here you go. Here's a great litmus test for both of them. Why they're both amazing. I think if you could have a fully healthy version of either of those teams or of either of those players, you would take that player to put on any future team in that sport. If you could put a fully healthy Taman Lipsy,
If you could put like early sophomore year Bo Freeler on any team
if you could put a fully
before
healthy,
his body was toast.
but if you could get some version of like senior year smarts Bo Freeler with like early sophomore year body Bo Freeler.
The
Like-
injury sliders off.
Right. Yeah. Bo Freeler and Tame Lipsy with the injuries turned off. Like
Yep.
those are the two players like forever you would say I want injury-free Tame and Lipsy on every single team that I watch at Iowa State from now until forever. And Bo Freeler might be my guy. Like if I could have Bo Freeler with the injury sliders turned off and have him on every single football team that Iowa State ever puts on a football field, I'd take that tomorrow. Like actually, Bo Freeler would be a really fun linebacker. It would be a really fun like nickel or a linebacker in this system. He'd be really fun.
Great in the Willie Breland role.
Oh yeah, like he'd be perfect there. He would just be your Willie Breland, and he would just be insane.
You get
all the time.
you get stages here, Polar Nights, of beard growth. You get hair growth. You get it all here.
You get stages of beard growth, and you get symmetrical hair growth on top. It's great.
How about Milan Momcilovic as
Easy, Jake.
Hakeem Butler? There's a reason Hakeem Butler hasn't stuck in the NFL. As
I like that. I
as
like
romanticized
that
as
comp.
he is,
At his very best,
dominant at one thing to make him arguably the best.
at their peak, the best in school history at what they do.
Yeah. But clearly not a great route runner. Not the best of
But
hands.
very clear fatal flaws. But
Yeah.
they're like insanely
Like
good
you
at their
look
one
at
thing.
you look at what Hakeem Butler does very well at one thing, and it doesn't make any sense why he's not in the NFL.
Right.
Well, he had
Just
two targets in the preseason game, no catches.
Just like you look at Milan, and I still think that the game is trending in a way where Milan, I think, will carve out a role because he is just so good at one thing, and he's self-aware that he'll be able to buy into a 9th, 10th, 11th man role.
But is the NBA still the specialist league like it was 10 years ago? I don't know that it is.
It depends on the team.
If this was 2016 where every team is looking
Yeah.
for specialists, like maybe, but like just as the Big 12 has gotten away from air raid, the NBA has gotten away from its specialists era. And
I think I like that comp.
I like
That-
I like the Hakeem Milan comp.
That one and
Both
Ben
and both
Nickel.
can be like singularly dominant. If like at their best, they are like a singularly dominant player. Like where like literally nobody can defend Milan. He's just canning anything that he throws up. And Hakeem catching like balls up the seam and then tossing 3 defenders for fun. Like
he did at KU.
KU or Oklahoma. That I would argue that his touchdown against Oklahoma, where he threw 2 different defenders off of him, was maybe the most dominant play I've ever seen out of Hakeem Butler, even ahead of that Kansas one where he just threw the defender.
Listen,
he was
Croc,
able.
I will not do that.
He was able to chuck that defender at Kansas because that Kansas defender didn't know what the fuck he was doing, and he was so far out of position it was stupid. So he was able to just kind of like toss him like a little kid. Oklahoma, the guy was wrapped up on him and he just peeled him off. And then another guy showed up and he threw that guy too. The only other play that comes up for Hakeem Butler that was as like inevitable, like truly inevitable as that play was the one-handed catch he had against Baylor in 2017, which is still maybe the greatest touchdown catch in the history of Iowa State football. That was insane. Whoa. Like he just went like this. The ball just went, just landed right there, and he spun out of it, threw another guy. It was incredible.
Yep.
So this is a great comp. On just any given day, you take Jaden Higgins. If you're just like, I know that I'm going to get the absolute best out of whichever guy I take, I'm taking Hakeem. I just
Higgins has a little. Who'd be the Jaden Higgins of Iowa State?
To me, Higgins is the Marvin Harrison to Hakeem's Randy Moss. Like Marvin Harrison was like just the most dependable guy ever. But like, and you would love to take him if you know that you're gonna like on any given day, Marvin Harrison might be the better receiver than Randy Moss. But at his best, Randy Moss was untouchable. And at his best, Hakeem Butler was untouchable.
I'm trying to think who that would be then for Jaden Higgins.
On basketball?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, on the basketball side, I think
Higgins there's an argument to be made for like a Shayok.
I could be talked into that. Higgins he struggled a little bit early, but once he figured it out, he was so good. And he like
Figuring it out and being
I do not hate this at all.
Jefferson. I was kind of thinking
I
it.
really like that comp. I really, really like that comp.
I was trying to think of somebody else like on the basketball team that took a little while to like gel and then kind of took off.
And then it just took off. I mean, like you could
Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt Jones.
Kurt Jones. But Higgins never really exploded like Kurt did though. I guess the Liberty Bowl, that 23 game, but that was partially because they just gave up running the ball.
Yeah.
Noel to Matt Thomas is such a good comp. It's incredible. That's an incredible comparison. It's perfect.
Like even year by year.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Because sophomore year, you're like, what
Let's
the
go.
hell? Why was this guy hyped?
And then by the end, you're like, this guy might be the best player on the team.
Okay, who's Tyrus McGee?
Okay, Tyrus McGee coming off not a starter, but come in just does stuff. Well, I'll tell you what. For the first 3 years of his career, it was Will McDonald, because Will McDonald did not start a game until he was a senior. Yeah. It's easy to forget that he did not start a game until he was a senior. But he became way too good to be Tyrus McGee. If you're looking at the end of it, I mean, we could probably have a conversation about Abu Sama. I think you could probably
he wasn't like the star player, but he also was electric at the same time.
But he would just come in and just be a bolt of lightning out of nowhere.
Shante Jones. Probably not explosive enough.
Not quite explosive enough, I don't think.
Scored enough though.
Abu
Marcus
Deontay Burton is actually a great pick. That's a great comp because they're like two like physical freaks that if you get them the room to do the thing, they're going to go off and they're going to be like the most dominant player on the field. But they could disappear for games at a time.
Who's Royce White?
Jacob Park.
Dylan Sainer.
Jacob Park. No, it's Jacob Park. It's Jacob Park.
Dylan Sainer. Nice.
Listen, Royce White's Jacob Park. Can't convince me otherwise.
That's funny.
I mean, like, on paper, maybe the best talent that's ever come through the school, but just so much else going on.
Right up here.
Is there a Joel Lanning for basketball? I'm thinking of a guy that kind of reinvented himself a little bit, and became something. Swiss Army knife, but really just like, I'm thinking of someone that like was a certain way, then totally changed what they did or how they did it.
He would be like if George Condit turned himself into a legend his senior year.
Oh my God.
But he didn't.
That's a tough one. I don't know if we've seen a basketball player like. I mean, and it's to a certain extent, it's a little tough for basketball players to have the same kind of like total transformation that a football player can. Because like Naz is a pretty good pick here. I do like Naz because Naz came in as a combo guard, like he came into Iowa State as almost like a slashing combo guard essentially. And then by the end of his career, he was like a lethal 3 and D guy. I love the Naz comp there. All timer like all timer like cult hero guy. Totally reinvented himself. Did go through like a couple injuries, but had like
it's just the transformation was at different times for Naz.
Sort of, but I mean, it was later in his career when he became the shooter, though. I mean, like his first 2 years, he was kind of that slashing combo guard.
I guess, yeah, his first 2 years, he was just the big shot guy, is the thing. Because
he was a junior when he hit those shots against Oklahoma State.
No,
I'm pretty sure he was.
He would have been
his first
freshman.
year was 2012.
No, that's not right. His freshman year is the same year as Niang. Because him and Niang are supposed to have the same senior night, and then he got hurt, so he did a 5th year. So he didn't play at all.
His was 13.
That would have been his sophomore years when he hit those shots.
He hit the shots as a sophomore. And then he was as a junior.
Hurt.
He got hurt as a senior.
Yeah, he was hurt.
He was hurt as a senior and took his medical red shirt, came back for a 5th year. Okay, that sounds right.
I took the leap and I took the and this is my fault. I took the advice of the chat and looked at Royce White's last tweet and oh my God,
don't do it.
Hallis
I already
Cook.
did it.
Hallis
Is
Cook.
that Joe
Oh,
Skates?
Hallis Cook's noted Iowa State stan. Hallis Cook.
Noted Steve Prom hater as well.
Noted Steve Prom hater / Iowa State fan.
What what's the guy that always summons Aiden in the chat?
I mean, Niang in football is
Prentice Nixon.
Niang in football is
Purdy.
Brock Purdy. Yeah, it's obviously Brock Purdy. I don't think that's
Yeah,
too much of
Prentice?
I don't think there's too much of a conversation to be had there.
Who is Prentice Nixon?
Who is Prentice Nixon? Oh my God.
That's got to be DeMonte Ruth or Datron Young.
All right, Nick Weiler-Babb.
Ooh, good Swiss Army knife. Never great. Like good at a lot of things. Not great at
Is
anything.
that Landon Anchors?
Is that Joel Lanning?
Joel Lanning was an All-American.
I know, but
No.
No, Nick Weiler-Babb.
Nick Weiler-Babb.
Willie Harvey.
Oh, okay.
I could. Okay, I'm on board with the Willie Harvey thing.
Chase Allen. Not good enough to be Chase Allen.
I think he.
Or was he Dylan Sainer?
I kind of don't hate Dylan Sainer.
Nick Weiler-Babb's got a little bit of Carson Hansen to him.
Look, Dylan threw the ball.
Rock solid, but you're like, you never felt like he was taking you above a level.
I felt like Nick Weiler-Babb was playing in the wrong system. Like I think if they had Kane is an interesting one. Kane was more Tyrus McGee than he was Nick Weiler-Babb.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's actually a good that's a good Tyrus McGee one. I don't know. I don't. Willie Harvey's a pretty good one there. He just showed up lunch pail guy, did a good job. Now Willie Harvey has played in the NFL off and on for ever since he left, basically.
Okay, we're gonna stay in the same family tree here.
The thing with this is you gotta, when you look at the amount of roster spots that are available in the NFL plus practice squads, if there were however many, if that's 5,000 compared to the 500 that are in the NBA, Nick Weiler-Babb would have been a
Redbird. I think that I've come to this conclusion as us running through this exercise for the last 40 minutes is that I think we could say that a lot of these guys that played under Prom or XYZ,
who's the only guy? You know who's the only guy that would be worse under TJ than he was under Prom?
Don't say it.
You know the answer.
Who do you got?
It's Tyrese.
Oh.
It's Tyrese was a better player under Prom than he probably would have been under TJ. He would
think so?
He'd be a bad scheme fit for TJ.
See, but
TJ's his
Milan's a bad scheme fit for TJ,
and he's not here anymore.
But that's not why. I think I think the odds thing
it's not why.
The odds thing is going. It's going to transform a little bit to where. The defense is always just going to be what it is, and the offense is way more malleable.
For sure. But I don't think the defense is the defense. I think defensively is where the issue comes in with Tyrese. He needs to. I don't think that he would be able to body up dudes the way Taman did, or the way that I don't see him being able to play.
Could he maybe, but that's just not who he is.
I think his body would break down pretty quickly physically under TJ. I think he would have issues. Offensively, I think he'd be fine. It's defensively is the issue, I think.
It's kind of the same thing with Milan though. The guy wasn't a very good defender either, until he bought into it a little bit. So could Tyrese have done it? Probably.
Carson Hansen is Rasheer Bolton. Or no.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Kind of a weird scheme fit. Actually, you know what? I'm going to say Rasheer Bolton is Abu Sama. Super athletic guys that were both a bad scheme fit for their team. But clearly, when you see when things were going well, you could see really, really good player. Super explosive, great athlete, bad scheme fit.
We still never decided who Hallis Cook is.
Hallis Cook.
Disgruntled individual.
Sean Shaw.
Johnny Lang.
I like that.
Minus the gunshot.
Huh?
Didn't he shoot himself in the hand?
Johnny Lang?
Yeah. Wasn't it him? Or is that Mike Warren?
I don't know.
Oh, who?
Did someone
I know who Mike Warren is.
Who's Mike Warren?
Lindell Wigginton.
Oh. Lindell's kind of a funny one there. Yeah. I could see that.
So much promise as a freshman.
And then just fade out to existence.
It was Sheldon Croney. Sorry. He's the one that self-inflicted.
They can be confused. They were pretty interchangeable.
I was trying to I think Sheldon Croney was actually an assistant running backs coach on the last with the last staff. Yeah.
Pretty recently too. He might have been there last year.
Yeah, he was. I'm pretty sure. Arlen Harris might be your Merrill Holden. Of course, he never played, though. Merrill Holden played.
This is just disgusting behavior.
What is
What?
Just this. It's awesome.
This is great. This is the shit that we're on
That's
here.
why we do it.
Yeah. So
Jake,
Then-
2
then
weeks
who-
ago, we went through the Polish Football League for 45 minutes and dissected that.
we did. We watched Polish football highlights last week for a good.
This is what happens when Sainer doesn't show up and we just go off the rails.
No. So no, Bo Williams is not Holden. Bo Williams had an explosive play. He went up for 42 yards, I think, on a second carry, and then disappeared from the earth. I'm gonna say Bo Williams is Lucas Stager. Went from 20, hit 12 threes in a game, and then just
Off the world.
vanished. Ooh, do we have a David Irving? Do we have a David Irving?
Yeah, it's a stop sign right
Caleb
outside
Grill?
my house.
Bryce DeJohn Jones.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
I don't know.
I mean, there's a little Caleb Grill there.
There's a little Caleb Grill there.
There's a little Jacob Park to Caleb Grill.
Cam Lard.
Oh, that's probably it. David Irving, Cam Lard. Yeah, that's it right there. Yep.
Shout out Jay Chicken.
Yep. No question about it. That's it. Yeah, it's David Irving, Cam Lard. No question.
Good pull, Jay Chicken. That was good. That was good.
Who's the Blake Buchanan?
Oh.
Blake Buchanan.
I feel like this has to be a player that plays a position that you're just never going to get credit for, even if you're better than meets the eye.
It's Dylan Sainer.
Dylan Sanders a good one. Dylan Sanders a good comp there.
But in a weird way, you also have to take a lot of blame.
Yeah, I don't think so. Okay. How about Julian Good Jones?
Oh my God. Yeah.
You're there to do a specific job. They can't really tell you exactly what the job is, but you got to do it. And you're just like you're gonna get some shit. You're gonna get a lot of shit. You're gonna be
And you
better.
know what? You might just be thrown out of position a few times.
You might just be. I think it's Julian Good Jones.
We've come full circle.
Okay.
Dylan chews our ass because we just rag on Julian Good Jones all the time.
I know. Well, yeah. I remember the first time I said Julian Bad Jones to Marchie. He was like,
What the fuck's
The
wrong
problem
with you?
the problem is too that he's got such a memorable name, which
does,
I think is a big key. Like if you have some big Samoan left guard that sucks, you're like, oh, what? How do you say his name again? It's not worth it.
yeah.
Whereas like Julian Good Jones is so easy to remember that if you're looking to blame an offensive line,
Listen, this is Matt Tuofu erasure.
who's the Omaha Blue?
Oh God.
Joe Skates. Joe Skates.
No. Hunter Dio.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's like almost 5-star guy that you just stole from someplace else and then turns out to be an absolute shitter. It's Hunter Deo. That's exactly right.
Yeah, that's a good
Ray Lima is Jake Anderson. Is Darian Jake Anderson from the first
great
Hoiberg
one.
year. They're like a good, solid player, not perfect, but a good, solid player that paved the way for better players to do the same thing but better down the road. Ray Lima is Jake Anderson. Xavier Foster is maybe that's your Joe Skates.
boy. Oh boy.
Aiden Ralph. I don't know.
Caleb Grill is Hunter Deckers.
That's actually a pretty good one.
Caleb Grill is Hunter Deckers. Granted, Hunter Deckers I don't think has the same animosity towards Iowa State that Caleb Grill does, but
See, I don't think Grill has a ton of animosity.
Nah.
towards Iowa
doesn't he?
State.
Okay, maybe I misread that situation then.
No, I still think they're pretty good.
Demario Montgomery, the guy we thought was going to be the savior, and just we're still waiting for it.
Who is the Demarion Watson?
The Demarion Watson. Okay, so let's archetype Demarion Watson here.
Super athletic.
Yep.
Like
Lowish
I-
IQ.
the idea of him playing more is enticing, even though we all know it probably shouldn't happen.
He is currently on the roster. Benny Nagoy.
Oh. Can we fairly put Benny Nagoye there right now?
I don't think
Not
it's fair to
yet.
put Benny Nagoya there yet, especially because we know that there's like a blueprint for him.
That's true.
Deion Silas again.
Okay.
Boy, Deion Silas is taking some shots here this evening.
Yeah. One for each foot tall he is.
Bo Williams equals D Watt.
Nah, because Bo Williams had like 2 explosive plays and then vanished off the face of the earth.
Poor man's Hunter Deckers.
Demarion Watson, who is Kyle Kemp, just old fucker that came in and just was like, oh, this guy's actually pretty good.
This old fucker that was.
Isaiah Brockington? I don't know.
Hey, not bad.
But he has to
Kemp-
get hurt. Does he get hurt? Who gets hurt?
I mean, we could just eliminate that. I mean,
I don't think there is a Kempt.
I don't think there's a good Kemp.
There hasn't really been an Iowa State transfer. Like,
Man, who was D Watt? I want to figure out the Demarion Watson here. Who is theoretically should develop into a really fun player, and where the idea of him as a good player is way past what he actually was.
see, I want to say Tyler Onyedem, but he figured it out at A&M.
He was really good at A&M.
But if he came back last year and had the exact same year he had before, he was the perfect.
Rodney Coe.
Maybe that's your DeVario Montgomery, actually.
So
No.
Theoretically,
Rodney Coe played though. He was just
but the idea of him being
here we go.
better than
Matt
what-
Leo. That's your thing right there. Like theoretically, this guy should be no, I don't know, but Matt Leo is he's still at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah,
Is
but he's
Matt
in the
Le-
front office now. But he
Is
did
it-
make their practice squad.
He did make the practice squad though.
Is it James Neal?
Yes. No, I don't know, but James Neal was a starter though. James Neal was a starter. We
Yeah,
need a bench player, a guy that's
Yeah.
Okay, you know what my guy? Okay, here's mine, and I know it's because I tooted his horn forever. Koron Adams. He sat on the bench, fastest high school
DB,
film,
right?
wide receiver, fastest receiver tape I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, this guy's going to be incredible. Watch out for this guy. And he never played. Never ever played.
Is it friend of the program has a show on Cyclone Fanatic, Jyrell Brock?
Brock got buried behind Brees Hall.
Yeah.
and then got screwed by the gambling thing. So
Yeah,
I'm not
he
going to put that on
He
him.
also would have, probably.
Sure,
Kept
I don't
playing.
hate the Gabe Kalsher Kemp thing. Kind of showed up when he needed to.
Clearly limited.
Limited, but showed what but had his moments. Showed up when he needed to. Theoretically, if you had another year, could have been really good. I don't hate that.
Kempt is a very, very tough one.
Kemp's a really tough one.
I think Brees is a really tough one.
Well, Brees is going to be your guy. That's the star, right?
Brees is if Halliburton played
If Halliburton played 3 years
and
he'd
never
be
got
Brees.
hurt.
Right, he'd be Brees. Yeah.
He is the clear best player on the floor, best player on the field.
But maybe the best pro. At his peak, the best pro.
Oh gosh, what's his name? Demarion Watson is Dylan Lee.
Yes, it's Dylan Lee. That's such a good one, and it's a perfect one for me too, because for both players, I was like, I don't understand why everybody's hyping this guy up. I don't get it. And then yes, Dylan Lee is perfect for Demarion Watson. Perfect.
I knew it was a running back.
Or Eli Sanders even maybe fall into that same one.
Yeah,
He turned out to be a decent player, but
Dylan Lee's at UCLA. Wow,
is he really? Wow, good for him. Dylan Lee would be your 1 year.
Even when they would bring in Like, oh, you're up 50 on Arkansas State or blah, blah, blah.
Right.
All right, let's bring in Dylan Lee. And it's like, this is the guy.
He had 81
the guy that
yards
has the
against
hypes?
South Dakota.
But it's like you bring in Aiden Floor and he looks better. And
Yeah.
he's the walk-on.
Aaron Wimberly's a funny name here, but he did have really good games against Texas. Like he had a kick return for a touchdown too.
So
like
is that
he was good.
Is that Oshuni? Only was good against Texas.
Yeah, kind of.
With all due respect.
The
to
Eli
Shane.
Green, I think Eli Green was good. I think the staff didn't. Well, one, he was banged up, I believe.
Yeah, he was always hurt.
He was always hurt, but when he was in there, he was good. Like, I don't think that was a matter of him not being good. I think it was him not being consistent enough. Do we have a Jeff Woody of Cyclone basketball?
Never forget Eli Green 2024 at West
Michael
Virginia.
Jacobson.
I think Jeff Woody is John Neal. White guy that just showed up and buried a
Before
couple
my
threes
time.
when you needed them.
White guy that just showed up.
I know I didn't mean that to sound so disrespectful to Jeff Woody, but like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
Alexander Robinson. Alexander Robinson is a fun name because he's an underappreciated back. Because the problem is, like, Iowa State has had some like insanely good running backs in their history, and Alexander Robinson would be in the top 3 probably, except that Breece Hall, Dave Montgomery, and Troy Davis exist, and they were all incredibly good. Alexander Robinson was just rock solid, good running back for his entire career. Todd Blythe. No. Todd Blythe left Iowa State as
Todd
the all-time
Blythe is
leading
Dedrick
receiver.
Willoughby.
Yeah.
Better,
think-
worse?
Better. Todd Blythe left as the all-time leading receiver, didn't he? Or all-time leading in touchdown catches, I think.
Levi might say that Todd Blythe is just a white guy that just showed up and did his job.
I mean, he did have 4 touchdown catches against Texas A&M. A-Rob could be Isaiah Brockington, but I don't know.
Isaiah Brockington is Andrew Mevis. Wish you had him another year.
Andrew Mevis is a
Wish you had him another
that's
year.
a crazy comp for
That's a joke. It's a bit.
Wish you had him another year.
Oh my god.
No, Brockington's got a little bit of Jaden Higgins to him.
A little bit, yeah.
He's also got probably some David Montgomery. Or like the analytics probably ain't gonna love this.
I like David Montgomery.
The
Where he's
analytics
like,
probably ain't gonna love this, but you'll be
but
damned if
goddamn
he's
it,
not
gonna
getting
be
the first
electric.
down.
Yeah, say, but goddamn, it's gonna be electric and it's gonna work.
He's gonna get the first down. He's gonna hit the mid-range jumper. Like it's not gonna be how the scouts want it to be done.
Oh, see, Cam doesn't know how this game works. Of course, Josh Lenz is Trevor Ryan, but that's not the game we're playing. We're comparing different sports.
Come on, pimp. I know that guy, Camden.
Yeah.
He's
Clearly,
one of my-
Vanderly doesn't
I went
know
to
how
college-
this game works.
I went to college with him. We all call him Pimp. Pimp Daddy.
Oh, there you go.
Shut up, Pimp Daddy.
Come on, Pimp. Just comparing white guys to white guys. We're above that.
Well,
Levi's
but they're in the
not.
same sport too. They're in the, that's true. That is exactly what I did for Jeff Woody.
Jeff Woody is Carson Hansen.
But again, different. That's the same sport. We're going different sports.
I know.
Marcus
That's the joke.
Pfizer.
He's doing a thing here, Levi. Get on with it.
Marcus Pfizer. So Marcus Pfizer is arguably the most raw, talented player in the history of Iowa State basketball. Had an incredible career. Didn't work out in the pros, but that does not take away from anything he did at Iowa State, which was an unbelievable career.
Okay, let's think about that in football terms.
In football terms,
I like
Hakeem
Jamal
Butler.
Tinsley. I like
Jamal
Jamal
Tinsley-
Tinsley for Seneca more.
hold on though, because Jamal Tinsley had a long NBA career. He played. Jamal Tinsley for Seneca. I do like
Pfizer-
that actually. I like that because Seneca and Jamal Tinsley both just kind of they stayed in the league a lot longer than you think they did, and they just kind of did stuff.
And
Is
Tinsley,
Pfizer Hakeem Butler?
Yes,
Pfizer's probably just Troy Davis, right?
no,
Oh,
No,
what?
no. Troy Davis, good player. Not taking anything from Troy Davis. He also got the ball like 50 times a game. Like he was not like.
Interesting. You're going to say that Pfizer's too good to be Troy.
Pfizer's
Davis.
too
Okay.
good to be Troy Davis. Or he's too raw. Like he has too much raw talent, I think, for Troy Davis.
Yeah, it's Hakeem Butler.
It's Hakeem Butler.
Would it not be Lazard?
Well, Lazard's had a pretty good NFL career. Like, I mean, Marcus Pfizer is considered one of the biggest like NBA draft busts of all time.
But I think he just missed the era.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think he's a better player if he comes in the late 2000s, and I think he's a better player if he shows up in the mid-90s.
Donnie says Purdy is Tinsley.
No, Purdy's George Niang.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way: college Purdy is college Niang. College and like pro Purdy is past almost any Cyclone basketball player.
Halliburton.
Yeah.
Halliburton is the only one there.
Comp.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Pfizer
that's
might not have a comp.
with Purdy. You get college Niang and pro Halliburton in one player. That's what you get with Brock Purdy.
Is Pfizer Jake Knott?
No.
I was just thinking the pro, like
No. I mean,
I think
Marcus Pfizer was a McDonald's All-American coming into. Like,
we
he was
had
like
we had Jake
all-time
Knott
prospect.
on. We had Jake Knott on back in the Wide Right Nanny days. Talked about his post.
he had his own,
psych-
all of his. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more non-football stuff there that contributed to that one.
Yeah. I think he was good enough to play in the NFL. Yeah, he just had all the off the field stuff and injuries.
I don't-
and
Talk
stuff
about a
like that.
dark podcast that we've ever done. That one.
It wasn't because like it was actually kind of uplifting because like he was talking about it like all the dark stuff, but he was like, but the story of the podcast really was like how he's grown from that and how he's in a much better place now and like he's a much better person now and stuff like that.
Yeah.
is Will McDonald? That's a really hard one.
Yeah, Will McDonald's tough because
I think you have to take the pro part of it out.
if you take the pro part of it out, I mean, but the thing is like Will McDonald. I mean, to have
All-time
Will
Big 12
McDonald,
sack leader.
he broke Von Miller's sack record.
He
Like, you
might
have
be
to-
the most talented player in Iowa State football history. Like, I think it's him and Brees.
and I would put Will ahead of Brees.
I think so too. And that's really hard to put into terms for basketball.
Yeah,
Because I don't think anyone would call. Like, I don't think anyone would. Is he Pfizer if you take out the pro part of it?
if you take out the pro career, wow, but Will McDonald was like a nothing prospect. Like
Do
nobody
we
knew
have
who he was.
that-
is Will McDonald Cale Sanderson?
I mean,
But if we're just talking like
you
pure
could say
dominance,
you
pure
could say that
dominance, Pfizer has the best season in Iowa
if you
State
want to go,
basketball
actually
history.
a decent comp here is going to be Brees and Pfizer, both coming in as highly rated recruits, have wildly productive 3-year careers. Now Brees is going to flame out. Now he's not flaming out, but he's not exploding in the pros because of injuries.
If you give 100 possibilities for Brees Hall's NFL career, and they all play out right now, he's on path like 98.
Yeah, he's on an unusual path. Most of the time, he's hanging around the top 5 running backs in the game for a while.
And he's a horrible timed ACL, horrible franchise,
And I
horrible
think-
offensive line.
And I think Pfizer is in a similar boat where, like, if you let him replay his pro career out, it probably ends up
If he
differently,
goes to the not post Jordan Bowls,
I mean, like, there's no reason that he should have flamed out when Taj Gibson played for 20 years.
yeah,
Like,
I think I'm down for Brees and Pfizer,
I like Brees and Pfizer.
but what does that do for McDonald?
I don't think there's a good McDonald comparison because he
do
started
we
with
have-
nothing, became like the most individually dominant player like in school history,
Well,
and
do
then
we
is now
have
off to and had like then now he's in the pros. Now
Do
he
we need to come up with a hybrid? Will McDonald is half Melvin Edgem, half Deontay Burton. Athletic ability,
Will McDonald was every play all the time though. Like
like Edgem was.
he would be like he
With
would be
Burton's
like
athleticism, Edgem's mindset,
He'd be
journey.
He'd be like Burton's ceiling with Edgem's floor, like type of thing. Like at worst, he's going to be just a really good player, but like at his best, like there's nobody that's doing anything about whatever he wants to do. But his floor was like really close to Deontay Burton's ceiling. Like that's the thing is like Will McDonald's floor was so high.
Yeah,
like,
there's nobody.
There's nobody. There's just nobody. Like that would be like if Deontay Burton had like the game he played at Kansas, that like 35 points or whatever it was, that would be like if he played that game every game.
And do we even have a basketball player that's like all-time Big 12 leader in something?
Monte's probably up there in assists, I would guess.
I'm just trying to think.
George would be up there in points.
It'd be like if George Niang had Deontay Burton's athleticism, is Will McDonald.
Kinda, yeah.
Like that's he
like
is an absurd. He is a once in a generation Iowa State defensive football player.
Yeah, I would agree with. Iowa State will probably at some point find a quarterback that's on par with Brock. They will find a running back that's somewhere in the neighborhood of Brees. They will find another receiver that's as good as Higgins or Jalen.
I mean, heck, they were one awesome Rocco Beck season, and he sticks around and they win the Big 12 championship away from Brock getting passed.
In an alternate timeline where nothing happens last December and we're just where we were going to be.
And they go and win 11 games. And
you're talking about Rocco passing Brock.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even see a way anybody passes McDonald.
I don't see as far as just being just individually dominant. I don't. Yeah,
I test and career record.
Yeah, the career record I think is pretty much could be set just based on the era of the way the college athletics work now and the people transferring. And I mean, a player of a caliber like Will McDonald just being at Iowa State for that long is.
See, the problem is that Monte Morris is not. He's not good enough to be Will McDonald, unfortunately. That is not even a slight at Monte Morris whatsoever.
It's just Will McDonald's that good.
Will McDonald was so good. Like I said, Will McDonald is if you got that one game of Deontay Burton at Allen Fieldhouse, but you got that every game and every play of every game. That is what Will McDonald was. He did not take plays off. There was never a play where you look like where you watched Will McDonald and be like, he kind of got owned on that one. It never happened.
Yeah.
Who is Rocco Becht?
Oh, God.
So Rocco was on pace to really be in the conversation for the best quarterback in school history. He was on pace to do that. Is there anybody that's been on? I mean,
see, that's the thing. Nobody was really
the only guy that I'm.
It also all depends on emotion. I do not. Hate Rocco
Donnie's in my fucking brain. Is Wesley Johnson's the first name that came into my head? But Wesley transferred early. He transferred after his freshman year, I think. Whereas Rocco transferred late. Wesley I don't hate that comp. Wesley Johnson could have been one of the greatest players in school history, but he left way too early for us to know.
Adam Haleska kind of falls in that same realm.
But again, left really early.
Yeah.
I also just don't consider Rocco a traitor.
No, I don't either. I don't hate that. It's imperfect.
They both had
boom right there.
A couple limitations that would.
Austin says Gene Chizik.
Steve Rome. No, I
don't hate.
I mean, unfortunately, he's gonna get a bad rap here, but the Gene Chizik thing is McDermott. But
I think Gene would be closer to Prom.
McDermott got his Craig Brackens.
Yeah,
I think it's Craig McDermott.
Yeah, you're right, because McDermott took something over that wasn't great and left it worse, whereas Chizik took over something that wasn't great and left it worse.
But he left it in a as bad or a worse spot, but there was a couple pieces that stuck around that
And they
made it valuable.
both did
And
that,
actually, the Gene Chiswick's, AJ Klein, and Gene Chiswick's, like there's like Kelechi Osemele.
Yeah.
Gene Chiswick's Kelechi Osemele is TJ Otzelberger.
Well, and Redburn makes a good point too.
Say
Like
Deontay
McDermott's still like people like at Iowa State.
Yeah,
like,
nobody hates Craig McDermott.
Yeah, we don't like hate.
That's why I was hesitating to do that and thought more of Chiswick to Prom.
Like in the
Sure.
moment,
How
like
he's thought of by the fan base.
in the moment, I think people were pissed at McDermott, but like now, like everybody's like, they're like, yeah,
We
he
kind of
ain't a
moved
bad
on.
dude.
It just wasn't a fit. They just realized it just wasn't a good fit type of thing.
I think the Rocco one's tough.
Yeah, Rocco's tough. Well, the problem is we're not moved on far enough from Rocco. Like
I
we
think
can't-
Milan is a pretty good one.
for right
Yeah.
now it's Milan. Yeah, for
'Cause,
right now it's Milan.
Like, you could equate the pick sixes and the throws to the sidelines to Milan defense,
Yeah,
but also like Rocco's deep ball and fearlessness and
his fourth quarter
toughness.
comebacks. Yeah,
And that can all kind of be attributed to like that
Three-point
strength
shooting.
outweighs all the weaknesses, like Milan's 3-point shooting.
Cycling
does.
Clone is going to have to forgive us. Kenny Pratt is just a touch before any of us can really comment too much on Kenny Pratt. Rocco is like Monte if Monte transferred after Fred left.
I like that.
I like that. Now, Monte didn't leave.
didn't. Yeah.
Monte didn't leave, but I don't hate that. Because if Monte had left after his junior season, because you gotta remember Monte played 2 years under Prom, not one. I don't like that.
Shout out Lindell Wigginton's dunk at Oklahoma.
I just got a great one.
What's that?
Talon Horton Tucker is MJ Anderson. Why did you leave when you left?
Taylor Horton Tucker, though, is an NBA champion
He
And
sure
he's
is.
playing in Israel now.
with an NBA championship ring on his finger.
He did make a lot of money.
He made a lot of money.
But it ended up working out for him. But at the time, it was, why are you leaving? Whereas
yeah,
MJ.
no,
Anderson,
yeah. In terms
did
of
you
like
leave?
had a decently productive year, and but like definitely should have stuck around. Yeah, I can see that.
no, THT wasn't a lottery pick. He was like 33rd.
He was
something like that.
he was in the
Early
first round. He was
second, I
31st, I think. I think he was 31st because he was a first round pick.
Yeah, maybe he was last first.
Or no,
last
wait,
first
well, no, there's only
rounder.
30 teams in the NBA, right?
He might have actually been 30.
For now.
Something like that.
Talon Horton Tucker draft. He
I got it
went-
right here.
29.
No, he went. 46th.
Second round pick, 46 overall.
Oh, he
Yeah.
went middle of the second round. I thought he was a first round.
I
pick.
think he left thinking he was a first round pick.
Who among
Averaged
us?
6.5 points with the Bulls of this last season in the NBA.
Who's Terrence?
Oh, I was laughing at who's Royce White, Audie Crooks.
Oh my God.
We're not touching that.
Yeah, we're
with a
not
10-foot
going.
We're
anywhere
gonna
near
get off
that.
the rails
we're
real
not,
quick.
We're not going anywhere near that. Terrence Lewis. Do we have a Terrence Lewis? Greg Gaines. Terrence Lewis is Greg Gaines. Like theoretically,
That's
this guy
not a
should be
bad
really
one.
good. Just never. Atuba Rubin. God, that's a fun name. So Atuba Rubin was a good defensive tackle, but not great at Iowa State. But then for no discernible reason, played for the Browns for like 15 years. Like a long, he played for the Browns. He played in the NFL for like a long time.
Terrence Lewis might have been Zeb Noland. You didn't hate the idea of it, and then you always hated the execution.
Came in, had like one really good game, and then you're just like, I really don't want this guy playing right now.
Yeah, let's not do this anymore.
Let's not do this. Zeb Nolan, I don't hate that one. Yeah, that's probably Right where it's at. Okay, we're almost at 2.5 hours now. Let's.
Well,
wrap
we
this
should
bitch up.
probably thank our.
Yeah, we should talk. It should. Speaking of coming.
Oh
my God.
Speaking of coming, who is Real Mitchell?
Yeah, no shit. Don't get into that. We're gonna go through Polish football highlights again.
Yeah, we'll be here another 2 hours.
Yeah. I did discover there is also like a league in Finland. There's another one in Belarus.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap her up.
Yeah. So thanks to our sponsor, Iowa Distilling.
Iowa Distilling Company down in Cumming, Iowa. Check out the Prairie Fire Cinnamon Whiskey, 1858 vodka, Saint Center apple pie. You can get it at any Fairway Hy-V around. You can get them anywhere you need.
Well, this has been the 2 hour and 20-minute version of the Nightcap, where things have gone off the rail into things that we didn't really intend on talking about. But that's just the way this shit rolls around here.
You also didn't invite me on. I invited myself.
You did.
I didn't. I thought I would be working these entire 2 hours I've been on.
You weren't not working.
Didn't you say
Noted ball knower Jackson Pence.
Pence, you are.
fuck you, Jack?
You are
Right.
suspended from the
Absolutely.
beat reporters before you even start.
Absolutely. This
It'll
is such
just
a
be
good. This is
Robin.
honestly maybe the best take of the night. It's either. I mean, PCA T-Lou. It's a really good take.
Well, I don't see Terrence Lewis becoming an NL MVP anytime soon. So shut
And I
it.
don't. And
Who's
I don't.
the Cardinals kid?
And I don't
Baez?
see PCA. I don't see PCA putting up 82 points in the Des Moines YMCA league.
Who?
Cap
What's?
City.
I bet he could.
Is it Joshua Baez?
Yes, Joshua Baez.
That's your Jacoby Long, one-hit wonder. Scored
Did
29
Jacoby
one
one
game.
hit though?
Huh?
Did Jacoby one hit one game though?
Yeah, he had like 29 against Tulsa.
Oh,
Yeah,
I forgot
he
about
sure
that.
did. He sure did.
he had beef with an Oklahoma school apparently, but not
Yeah,
the
well,
good ones. But not the good
Baez,
ones.
is Baez still 0 for like ever after that Cubs game?
Yeah, Baez got a hit tonight. Yeah, so
Oh, good for him.
So
good
fuck off.
job.
back to being the best hitter in baseball.
I guess.
All right,
Well,
we got to get out of here.
anyways,
There's a
Well,
comment
thanks
that I wanted to address, but we got to get out of here.
we're not. we are not. So thanks for listening, everybody. We will keep rolling towards the football season here. Got plenty more content coming your way. I think the Lightcast will be out tomorrow live. Yes, so I think that's the plan. And then we move in closer to football season. We'll be back with the Nightcap next week. Levi, are you slated to do down
As far
the
as
pipe?
I know, here's a picture of Jalen Rayner. Yeah,
look at those logos.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I kind of abandoned all the rest of the content. that I
Yeah,
had
we
down
didn't
there below.
touch. There's so much stuff like here. There's like another clip down here
That's
too. We just
my
didn't look
fault
at.
for showing up.
We didn't look at any of that shit.
This is what we get for not putting together a rundown ever, but that's all right. We're never going to change it.
Yeah,
and
you know.
We've never done one. Why would we start now? So anyways, we'll be back next week and we'll keep rolling towards this thing. So thanks for listening, guys. And for myself, Matthias, fuck me. We've been here.
Just end it. Just end it. End it. End it.
Yeah,
end
we're
it,
done.
end it,
See you
end
guys
it, end it later.